called something different, but that's its own issue. And we are going to be doing a pod racing adventure because, as I've been told, this is pod racing. We've got a bunch of players in for this session. It's going to be a lot of role play and improv. So why don't we start? I have this up on just a different view. So I'll just go from left to right and ask everybody to introduce themselves. Neckodoodle, because that's how you wanted it to be displayed. Why don't you?
I'm first.
Yep. Why don't you introduce yourself and just describe your character and if there's anything you want to brag about, I guess.
Hi, I'm Nicole, also known as Neckodoodle. I draw. I am going to be playing chess.
Yeah, no, that's pronounced correctly.
That's okay, good. The character name I chose, which it was just the randomized one that was like the one I could pronounce the best, which was like Raza Apis Oswi? Who knows?
Okay, sure. Those
so
are words.
Raza, I guess.
That's a
Will
lot
be
of vowels put together. Very appropriate.
All of them were. Jeez. So my character will just be Raza.
All right. And your Twitter and what's your big donor incentive that you want to promote?
Okay, my Twitter is at Neckodoodle1. And my incentive is I made adoptables, which I think you can see below, right? There's 3 of them, and they come with level 1 character sheets. So if you want to get them, then just, put your email down, and then however that works, they'll get to you.
All right. So she's got, because we already killed a half hour. So she's got D&D adoptables. I've seen them. They're very chibi, very cute. Next, Andrew at Dicey Cantina. Why don't you introduce yourself? See what you want to promote, your Twitter and your character, and what you want to donate for.
All right. So I'm Andrew, as you said, and I'm GM and host for the Dicey Cantina show on YouTube, and it's at Dicey Cantina on Twitter to find us. And I'm excited today to play a Charger fan engineer. I haven't named him yet. I thought that might be a good donor incentive, but I didn't figure out how that works. So if you want to tell me what the name of my character should be.
I have the donor list up on that I'm keeping track of, so I'll at the very least give a shout.
So I need a name. Donate and name me. That's where I'm at. Also, I'm really good at dad jokes. So if that's something you guys enjoy, then don't donate the $100 to make me stop telling dad jokes. That's what I have.
All right. So we've got a nameless Chadra fan engineer. Next on my arrangement, Agnieszka. Why don't you introduce your character, introduce yourself, and what you want people to donate for?
Hi. I'm from Poland, actually. Unlike, I think, everybody here. I'm a plant lady. I'm a plant. So one of my incentives today is showing you those plants. Look how beautiful it is. And also naming them. Because none of my plants have names yet. So if you want to drop some money, you can come up with something. You can make it as ridiculous as possible.
Yep.
And also for anybody that wondered how to say something in a different language for whatever reason, you can also donate to get me to translate a phrase, and let's keep it PG, guys, a phrase into Polish. And today I'm gonna be also playing Katoda, who is a consular, and they are a reptilian person, and who knows what the hell they're doing transporting those pod racers.
They look like walking turtles without the shells and hair. Yeah, like a big Komodo dragon. All right, Zynar, you're listed as thread raiders on my on this, but
yeah,
Zynar over here.
I'm currently the host as well. Yes, I'm Zynar01 on Twitter. We'll be soon on Twitch and such as well. I'm playing Fleck Furrick, a Sathari pilot. Think of Wash, but flightier.
You're a big bird. You're Big Bird.
But we can't say Big Bird because I'm not Big Bird. I'm a
no.
Big
As long
Bird.
as we don't capitalize it, we can call you Big
Yes.
Bird.
Not the.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Article is very important.
That works.
All right, and I'm assuming everybody's met you already, so we'll skip ahead. Dan or Admiral Moonfang, as you're put up on here.
Yep. My name's Dan. I'll be playing Zelton the Zeltron. He's a diplomat.
I like it.
It was one of the pre-generated names. I liked it. He's a diplomat, and he comes from a race of, they're basically pink, sexy humans. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah, no, not just pink, sexy humans. They were made in the 90s, peak, terrible Star Wars comics period. Not only are the Zeltrons are a race of sexually promiscuous, constantly horny, and they emit pheromones that impose that on everybody else.
Oh, yeah. And, as a donor incentive, I can do tons of crazy different voices that I've never actually had a chance to use for anything. So I was going to do, every time we get a donation, I'll switch up the voice.
Somebody posted, and I'm going to share this for you because it's on the chat after I mentioned that they're constantly horny. Someone said that, so they're bards. And yes, yes, they are. Not last, Tyler or Sleepwalker, as you're up on the thread.
Yeah, sure. Hi everyone, my name's Tyler. I will be playing a Twi'lek, trigger-happy, sort of young gunnin' soldier. He doesn't go by his Twi'lek name. He goes by his galactic stamp name, Buster. And for my donor incentive, I am writing one-page horror stories.
Okay. And then finally, last and least, Constance or Caffeine Hag. Least because her power's out and we don't know when she's going to be able to get on. Tyler, a lot of people are saying they can't hear you. Is there any way you can turn up the sound on your end?
Yeah, sure.
All right. But yeah, that is the story. So, or that is our players. So let me introduce everybody to the story. You are all an assortment of smugglers. You are operating aboard an early model Corellian freighter that you have presumably been operating on for quite some time, and commissioned by a pod racing shipyard to transport a set of pod racers to an illegal pop-up race that will be claimed by the racers upon arrival. They are you have 3 of them sitting in the cargo hold of your ship, and you are currently in a hyperspace course for the planet of Barunda. This is going to be, as far as you understand, a very impressive event. People are going to be coming from all over the galaxy, sort of colluding here for about a day, and then as soon as the pod races are over, everyone is going to be dispersing out into the world again. So this is going to be a great opportunity to make criminal contacts or just sell some things that you might have sitting around the ship, or whatever other nonsense you all can get into. There will likely be a couple bounties worth claiming, definitely some Imperial spies. Yes, this is PodCon, although I might be a bit more accurate to compare it to Space Burning Man. And that is the current narrative. You are currently in a hyperspace. You've got 3 pod racers in your hold. You guys did not come up with a name for your ship yet, but you did come up with at least one thing that has to be on it, and that is a smoothie machine. So I'm assuming you are all more or less in the mess while things are happening and enjoying your delicious smoothies. First off, how have you all personalized the ship? What personal touches have you put in the commissary? And I do need to respond to the chat real quick because someone said gravity isn't an issue in Star Wars, and that is wrong. Falls from more than 10 feet are the biggest killers in all of space.
Handrails are against code.
Yeah. All right. So what personal touches has anybody put in the commissary? Is it kind of like a homey vibe? Is it kind of a post sci-fi vibe? Like, did you put in wood paneling?
Oh, no. There are neon lights everywhere. Below the bar, neon lights. Up above the bar, neon lights. There is even neon spelled out in neon lights. That's what my character did at least.
Right. You have spent the money. You just got a whole. I'm gonna take it. That's canon now. There's just neon all over. No one can sleep, but you don't care.
And we definitely have a juice box, right?
You've got a smoothie machine. Of course you have a juice box. How else are you gonna put juice in your smoothies? So, what plans does anybody have for the for PodCon?
Well, I've definitely got to check out all of the different pod racers that are out there, or the pods themselves. You know, I think as an engineer, I tinker on them all the time, so I'm gonna have to go to each one. And so I'm definitely heading after I get some smoothie stuff. I'm going to head to the cargo hold and look at the ones we have stored back there.
Pretty good plan. Now, anybody else have anything?
Our pods? Or are we taking them for somebody else?
You have been commissioned to deliver them. They are not your pod racers. The idea is that it's going to be kind of it's.
We got a donation, by the way.
We do have a donation. But I can't see it. It wasn't on my. It wasn't listed on my Facebook thing. So, would you mind describing it?
I'm hoping to find that out real fast. Carry on.
But you have been, and I'm gonna just post that also in the chat. Okay, I got it. Chat rules. This is a link to the Facebook thing because apparently our servers are down. But the idea is that it's easier to send the pod racers separately because then there's a bit more deniability on everybody's part. So you have been essentially commissioned to deliver the pod racers and then teams will pick them up.
We don't have any of the drivers with us. We have just
it's just you, just the pods. Racers. Just the pods.
We need a plant shot and a change of accent, by the way.
A plant shot and a change of accent for Dan. All right. Let's get those plants out. Come on.
Okay.
Show off your.
This is my
all right, I think we got it right here.
All right, Dan has gone for late 90s shock jock.
Oh, you know it. Oh, it's just wonderful. You see, I learned this when I was a little kid. It turns out all my teachers were afraid of clowns.
Yep, because your uncle is or was Bozo the Clown.
Was. There were several bozos. I just played the one in the greater Philadelphia area for a good number of years. And he taught me all sorts of wonderful things. I could juggle. I know how to do little tricks. I even had a little flower that could squirt water. I used it to squirt alcohol out of for quite a while. It was actually wonderful.
All right. So that is the first two steps. Yes, you do have all the pods in. Baruna is about a few hours away. So you'll be arriving shortly. Does anybody have plans? Is anybody worried about any? And I am going to make a destiny roll for you guys just to see how things are looking for you up ahead. They are not great. You don't have solid news because information doesn't travel as well through hyperspace. You're probably going to get it on the way in, but at least one of you has an outstanding bounty.
1, 2, 3, not it.
It's totally me. I just told the
that is why you have a bounty against you. So, Dan, your character has a bounty up on them. It's probably pretty substantial, and you might need to lay low, or at the very least, try and fend off any bounty hunters that may be coming to collect. On the other hand, there are going to be quite a few criminals there, many of which will likely have bounties against them, and there are no such protections at PodCon.
Okay, so somebody wanted to know what kind of plant this is. This is a lavender plant that I raised from seeds.
Yay!
You can clap. Very cute. Does somebody wants to name it? It is yet unnamed.
Give the plant a name.
As the planet comes closer, as the planet of Barunda comes closer and closer, the lines of hyperspace draw out ahead of you. You will be needing to. Someone would like to name it Iggy.
Iggy! Hold on, do we have like do they have to pay to name it?
I didn't see
Donate
that.
to
Well,
name.
they paid for the picture of the plant. The lines of hyperspace streak out behind you, and you appreciate that this is going to be, at the very least, an interesting time. The events ahead of you. Pod racing has been outlawed for quite some time. It almost seems like someone higher up in the imperial structure has a very specific beef against the sport of pod racing and has been actively working to undermine it and wipe it out from the galaxy. This has led to a big underground pod racing scene. A lot of people are popping up. It's sort of shifted the sport back to its glory days, back in, like, think like original NASCAR, when the idea was just like, we're gonna build the fastest damn car we can put together, and then we're gonna race them out of whatever spare parts we can find. The pods down there are in that mold. They are cobbled together bits of starfighter engines and repulsors from commercial vehicles, and anything that can be put together to make it go fast has made it go fast. But it's all available to you. You, like I said, your characters have a little bit of time before you jump out of hyperspace, at least enough time to either hold a conversation or make something in anticipation or clean guns or
So would love to
read a
tinker with
book.
with the pod racers.
Absolutely. You head down. They're mostly disassembled at the moment. You've got them they're not really on mothballs, more like they're kind of on struts, where they're all kind of laid out so you can tell which goes to which, but disassembled so they can fit a bit more easily in the ship. You can make a mechanics check though to see what kind of parts you can put together and what kind of pieces you can strip out.
All right.
For those of you not familiar with this particular system, instead of using numbers, we use these dice that they are each color coded. They each have different symbols on them: success, advantage, or for the bad dice, failures or threats. This is supposed to make the system a lot more narrative focused rather than mechanically focused, which leads to, in my opinion, better improv, but a little bit more Calvin Ball in the way you actually play. So what did you roll on your mechanics check?
What's my difficulty?
This, I would say, is average if you're just trying to like dig through them and figure out what makes them tick.
Yeah.
Hard with a setback if you're trying to take them apart and make them go faster.
Oh, I definitely want to make them go faster.
Which one? There are three.
Okay.
I gave them all names in the what you can pick from. There is there is one called the Mammoth. It's a big orange mother that looks like it looks like sort of the middle line ship. It's the one that it looks a lot more like Sebulba's racer in episode 1. There is the 8080. This one is the most different. It's the one that couldn't be disassembled because it's the only pod racer that you've really seen that has the pods hard mounted onto the racer, and it looks a lot more like a starship with the pods on the back. And there is the 3130 that you have, which is a bit more of this one is just designed for as much speed as fast as possible.
I'm definitely gonna tinker with that one.
All right.
The one with much speed as fast as possible is going to be should go faster.
Yeah.
All right. So we've got three successes and an advantage.
3 successes and an advantage. You, because you're kind of, and one of the interesting things about Chadra Fan is they don't really have a concept of personal property. You have a pretty impressive collection of just random bits and bobs of ship parts that you've managed to kind of assemble together. As you're digging through these ships, you look in and you see that, oh hell, I can really shift this to go one way rather than the other, like I can see it. You could either boost its overall speed, you could improve its handling, or you could upgrade its systems.
We're gonna go with more speed because that's
okay.
That's
It's just gonna go.
It's just gonna go that much
crazy
faster.
fucking fast now. you piecing this out, you find like this part's a little corroded, and you know you can get a lot more speed out of it if it pumped air a lot more efficiently. So you just crank it out and put in like a power coupler from a goddamn starfighter, like an A-wing, and it's like you just go like, I'm sure.
Why have they routed the exhaust this way? We'll just replace the manifold over here and then straight exhaust. That's what we need.
Yeah. As soon as you realize this, you're like, oh my god, that's so much more efficient. It's probably gonna explode, but before it does, it's gonna go so much faster. Anybody else up to anything?
I would like to meditate, thank you. I'm going to take like this sort of, it's sort of like a yoga mat, except it looks more like a carpet. And it's like the most ugly carpet you've seen in your life.
Just an ugly, ratty old carpet.
Yes, but like with like a very complicated design, and it just hurts your head to even look at it. And I just spread it and I sit.
Is the little shimmy part of it, or is it
shimmy meditating?
Getting your shimmy down. I'm actually going to do something interesting. I'd like you to roll a hard discipline check and add a white die to the result. So that is going to be 3 purples against your discipline.
Okay, let me look at my sheet. So my discipline, where are you? 3. I have 4 ranks in that.
Okay.
4 ranks, and this is willpower. Yep. Let's see. This is 2 advantages, but 1 failure.
Okay, so you try to and did you add a white die to it?
Hold on. I didn't actually.
Aha.
Okay, so I rolled 3 purple die for difficulty.
Right.
4 yellow die, which is my rank. And I'm supposed to also roll 1 white die, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Should I just roll everything?
It's fine. It just roll the 1 white die by itself.
Okay, so the white die was 1 success, 1 advantage.
Oh, well, the white die should only be white and black.
I'm so confused right now, dear viewers.
I will roll it for you.
Okay.
With a failure and 2 advantages, you said in your first roll.
Yeah.
As you focus and meditate, you can feel sort of on the periphery of your senses as you trained in the use of the Force as you are, a big secret to everyone. You sense a touch of darkness in your future, the possibility that things will, as you approach this planet, come in to threaten you and those around you. It's nebulous, but you can almost feel it connected to your own past in some ways, that some darkness from before will find you. And this vision has made it very hard for you to actually focus on your meditation.
Yep.
So now I've got to bookmark something else. All right. Anybody else doing anything as the hyperlane speed ahead of you?
I guess my character's probably just like training, playing with her I don't know what the difference is between like a hatchet and like a vibro hatchet, but I got that. So
the idea is that all the vibro weapons are essentially like, you know, they advertise like cooking knives that you can they're powered and they cut more effectively. It's that. It's the knife vibrates and that sort of goes through resistance a lot more easily. So it's just needlessly better, I guess.
It's just Star Wars.
Yeah, it's just Star Wars. It's
so is it like a regular hatchet that I click on the buttons? It is like my vibro hatchet.
It's a regular hatchet, but you could also turn it on to make it like just a much more complicated hatchet.
Okay, got you. Okay, well, my character's just like probably just like training, just practicing with them. I'm not sure. Do you sharpen them? I don't know.
It can't hurt. Like I'm assuming the I don't know. I don't know how you care for those vibrating kitchen knives.
Well, she's caring for them. That's what she's doing.
All right. Yeah, I made. Yeah, your character has a lot of knives.
I mean, if it's jagged and rusty and shakes real fast, it's gonna hurt either way.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm assuming that's everybody's plans.
Whoa.
Oh.
Hold up there.
Oh.
See, for me, every day is a party, and there's no better party than coming out of hyperspace. So my character is going to be drinking to the daylights there in preparation for all of the drinking and partying that's about to be coming afterwards. Because after all, this is pod racing.
So you are very thoroughly pre-gaming for PodCon.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna want you to roll a, let's say not survival, a resilience check. Make a resilience check, please. Because you're just pre-gaming so far, let's make it an average resilience check with 2 setbacks. So 2 purple dice and 2 black dice.
Well, all righty then. Okay. Okay. So I have 1 success and 2, disadvantages? Oh dear, that's not going to be great.
Okay. Since this is a since your goal is to get drunk, I'm going to say the success is you are now drunk. You are going to be, so long as you keep drinking, adding a black dice to every single one of your rolls.
We have alcohol on the ship. I thought we just had smoothies.
They're better smoothies.
Were we talking about adding juice to the smoothies?
Yeah.
What juice do you add to your smoothies?
Okay.
Jungle juice.
My character
Jungle
thought it
juice
was
for
regular
chocolate
juice.
I could use a smoothie after this vision.
An alcoholic smoothie or
I don't even know at this point.
You are getting very thoroughly drunk. I will say that does anybody have any suggestions for his disadvantages? I have something in mind, but this is where the improv aspect of it comes in. Because it's 2 disadvantages, and I don't want him to just puke all over the place, but maybe you drained all the alcohol. Maybe you've drained a decent, like you're out of space tequila now.
No, not the space
maybe
tequila.
Maybe it was space tequila and you ate the worm. But since it's Star Wars, the worm's probably like something like just terrifying.
Oh. Yeah,
yeah, I'll have it be that. You ate the worm and you're not sure whether or not it's the kind of worm you were supposed to eat or if it was the kind of worm that was just decorative. And now it might be that giant monster that almost ate Han Solo.
Oh.
Either of them. From either of the 2
It's the
movies.
infant version of that now in your gut.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Just wait till later until it tries to get out.
Yeah.
I hope not through the chest.
And then it's gonna do a little musical number and dance away, because I guess we're doing Spaceballs now.
That was the first Star Wars movie I ever watched.
Really?
I knew Spaceballs before I knew Star Wars.
Yeah, I can see that. Oh my god, that movie was terrible. Still better than episode 2, but you know.
How dare you Attack at the close.
Yeah, I mean, just because I don't like sand, it's gritty and it's coarse and it gets everywhere. All right, but are there any other ship plans, any prep plans before you touch down?
Yes, GM. As much as I like frolicking, such as the next person, we are coming out of hyperspace, and I'd like to make sure we're prepared in case of some Imperial ambush on the other side. I just want to make sure the scanners are clear, our weapons are good, stuff like that.
Yeah, make an average mechanics check.
Okay.
As you just take some time, run through your ship systems, make sure it's ready to go off.
Was that 2 purple?
2 purple. 2 purple's average.
Okay. I have 1 success, 2 advantage, 2 failure.
1 success, 2 advantage, 2
threat,
failure. 1. Okay, so that is just a straight failure.
Mm-hmm.
So
3 failures.
Yeah, they should cancel each other out in the final result. But yeah, you're
1 advantage, 1 failure. It is, I guess.
Yeah, so you're kind of you're kind of hard pressed to find any issues.
Well, poo.
I'm sorry. Should I get my feathers and my feet off the dash?
Yeah, yeah. You go in and he's roosting up in the cockpit. He's like,
fantastic.
All right, is our pilot doing anything before you
waiting to come out of hyperspace? There's nothing to do in hyperspace. I'm just waiting.
Yeah, that is very clearly established. Is that you can just lounge if your ship's in hyperspace. That leaves everybody as the lines of hyperspace transition in. What Dune? Why would we? All right, as the lines of hyperspace stretch out ahead of you, you hear the little blips and alerts that your line coordinated down has arrived. It sharpens out as the lines smooth back into stars, and you see the planet ahead of you. Barunda is a mixed sort of planet. But the area that you're heading to is mostly jungles. Though you are aware that as you are piloting down, that you will have to avoid what are described from the planetary guide as geyser towers that are on fire. They're easy enough to avoid from altitude, but as you're coming in for a landing, it might make it a little bit harder. So I'm going to need you to do a piloting check to land your ship, avoiding the geyser fields and any of the volcanoes or other planetary hazards that might be coming in. This is a fairly unstable planet. I will say average check with 2 setback dice.
We're going to be dead before we touch the ground.
So that would be my skill, which I think is 3.
Because if the pilot messes up, you all die.
2 setback dice.
No pressure.
Let's see how bad this is. Assuming I rolled the right ones. 2 advantages, 2 failures. That's the end result. It's 1 success, 4 advantages, 3 failures, and 2 threats.
Your ship, as it swings around hard, and you all hear this sort of sickening thump as your shields come into contact with one of the geysers, and you can see it as it just sort of passes under you, and the ship bumps underneath you. I will say, though, your advantages as your ship lands after taking a bit of damage, you end up accidentally landing your ship basically right in the middle of the shops that the people sit, like the little pop-up shops.
We got the best parking spot.
You sort of accidentally ended up parking next to like a churro stand.
Yes.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Advantage next to churros, and we didn't crash.
Yeah. Well,
so
you
saying I could trade smoothies for churros?
This is kind of like you just kind of if you didn't have shields, you'd have a big long scratch along the side of your car. Yeah. So the ship lands, touches down, and the doors, the cargo bay doors open up. As the ship touches down, though, you do get a message in from one of the coordinators of PodCon that one of the racing teams that you were sent to deliver a ship to has been arrested. Yep.
We're not getting paid.
Timo's Teamsters were all arrested the other day, and they will not be attending PodCon, which means you have a surplus ship, or you have a surplus pod racer on board. Ooh, that is going to be something I'm going to have to figure out, and I'm going to let you all. You have 3 ships on board. You have the Mammoth, you have the 3130, and you have the 8080. So I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to roll a d10, and we'll see if you kept the one that you tweaked.
That was the 3130, right?
That was the 3130, the straight line runner. You did actually manage to keep that one.
Hell yeah.
You got this big, heavy straight line racer. It handles like it will handle like a shopping cart.
The one that might blow up.
The one that might blow up. Well, they all might blow up.
Oh yeah, no, that's
They're held together with duct tape and a dream. George Lucas gave a character a book's worth of backstory and killed him in the first 30 seconds of the pod racing scene. They're built to die and explode.
As long as it crosses the finish line first.
Right, which is really what matters.
Even if it's on fire.
Yes.
We should join the race. Join the race and make a lot of money.
All right.
The things that they take for bets, like, you know, at the end you have it so it's like cross the finish line on fire.
Yeah. If you extend your bet, it will get much more interesting. The cargo bay doors open up, and ahead of you, you're in this kind of newer city. It looks like it's been built within the past mostly century, I'd say. The buildings are old, but it looks like it used to be a lot more populous than it was before. Like, the trade routes that used to go through this area were a lot more profitable, and then following presumably the Clone Wars, this has just been in a sort of gradual decline. There aren't that many people living here, but you can tell that there's a radical difference between what the place looked like then and what it looks like now, where there are just suddenly it went from 0 to thousands of people sort of milling about. It's like a hive of scum and villainy just sort of popped up in the middle of Rio de Janeiro, which I guess isn't that much of a change. I don't know. I've never been to Rio, and I don't want to diss the Brazilians without having been there. So ahead of you is to the sort of end. As you look down the racetracks, you can see more of these geyser pillars that gradually lead into a thick forested jungle. You are aware from some reading on the race that there are some ruins, some old ruined structures ahead that may end up being part of the race itself, but none of you said that you were going to look up any of the books on the race, so that's what's up. The pod racing teams that come up and claim their 2 racers. Who wants to take a stab at describing the weird alien monster that picks up the mammoth? Because again, this is prequel rules. You can be as weird as damn possible. Just the weirdest thing the Muppets Lab could come up with. They had one guy there was a weird pig monster. They had one character that was all CGI and looked like he was something out of Reboot.
Are we expecting to get paid on delivery, or did we already get paid?
You got paid a commission, and you will be getting more on delivery. So they are providing you with some funds.
Okay. Make sure
I think the mammoth is piloted, or the team is a team of whatever race the killer whales or whales are.
Oh God, those guys! Yeah, Herdlicks.
Yes.
So for those who don't know, this is basically like a walking orca. It's someone who looks like he's about to walk into the salty spittoon. People are gonna ask him, "So how tough are you?" They are big. They are slippery. They've got black skin with big white spots that you wouldn't expect one of them to be able to fit inside of this pod, but I guess it's been custom modified to just fit a huge friggin' guy. Yeah, they come in and they just kind of because they talk like whales.
Does anyone speak whale?
Dory.
I speak well, actually. Believe me, too.
That's Disney property now. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it is. It's this crossover could technically happen. So the Herglick pops some credits down for delivery of the mammoth. They go over their systems. Next is the team coming in for the 8080. What do they look like? Just any adjective, and we could start running with that.
Slimy.
Spindly and slimy. I heard both of those words.
Oh yes.
You have those two things.
Great.
So effectively, like
Big slimy spiders.
no, I was thinking like greasy Groot.
Greasy
Groot.
You know, like that kind of body shape, like very tall, very thin, but it looks like he's just secreting, and you're not sure if this is
So is this like Teen Groot?
Yes.
Yeah. Teen Groot. It's Teen Groot. They're kind of like, or maybe like Slender Man, almost. It's so this greasy fellow just comes up and he sort of stands over and looks down at you, and he just kind of looks up and hands you some credits, and you see him kind of. This is another species where you're like, how is he gonna fit in this thing? And you realize like he's gonna have to like tuck his legs in and just kind of sit like this,
Clown car style.
Yeah, or like really lean back like it's a lounge chair, and like that, your ostensible business is done. PodCon is open to you. This is.
Can I offer to make both of those faster as well for extra money?
You know what you can? I would like you to make a, let's say a negotiation check.
Okay.
This is good. They already came in with their own teams, but the pod racers are weird fellows. So let's say this is average, but since they have their own teams, so 2 purple dice, and since they have their own teams, 3 setback or black dice.
When we have a ambassador or counselor on the ship, right?
Yeah, that would be me.
I think I'm nudging.
That's Bozo there.
Bozo. Like, let's make some more money here. I can make those go faster. I know. I looked at them all. Tell them I can make them go faster, and we'll make a little more money.
You got it. Okay. So I would like to try and charm on this one. I mean, that's going to be the best way to do this.
Go for a charm check.
Mm-hmm. So it's normal difficulty, you said, right?
Normal difficulty with 3 setbacks. So 2
Alrighty
purple,
then.
3 black.
Hey, so that is 2 successes and a disadvantage again. Whoa!
That you do manage. All right, what are you saying to them to convince them that no, our guy's good. He's got this.
Well, I don't know who your guy is, but trust me, I know that my guy, trust me, he can make them fly so fast that they will be sailing through there, maybe even without the pilot, just boom, right through. And you know what? I bet you, he can make sure they get there without catching on fire. I know. Crazy statement there, but no fire involved, just straight speed. We're talking greased lightning, or lightning that's on fire and greasy, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be zooming through there like it's...
The Herglicks hear you say greased lightning, and they all kind of look at each other, and then they do a little musical number about wanting to go as fast as greased lightning. And then they kind of nod, and they're, yeah, greased lightning. And they sort of pass you a bunch of those pit droids. You remember from episode 1 that had like the single eye and the domed head, and they're all kind of like beep beep. So they just and those are your disadvantages. You've got to work with these pit droids. They are literally, their names in the canon are dumb. They are dumb droids. DUM.
Sounds like my sisters.
Wow. Wow. So you go in. I'm gonna need you to make a mechanics check.
Okay.
The dumb droids are going to. It's I'll say average because you are, or I'll say hard,
Okay.
with 2 boosts because you've looked at it before, and 2 setbacks because you're working with these idiot friggin' droids.
Okay. And just for the record here, if we have our own pod racer, I think I'm at the point now where I'm sabotaging these.
Ooh.
So we can win a race later on.
All right.
Whoa! I promise no fire there.
I can make sure that the exhaust has no fire in it. The couplers to the pod.
I'm gonna say that is going to. Yeah, I'll say any advantages will go to sabotaging it, to making it look like it'll go faster while secretly having it break.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, same dice.
Nice fistful of dice here.
Yep. That is one of the most viscerally satisfying parts of this system, is just having just a whole buttload of dice.
So I have 3 successes, but no advantages.
3 successes. You inadvertently do end up sort of improving these pod racers. It looks like
Too good at my job.
The thing is, like, you've made them so they'll go faster and they'll handle a bit better, but in doing so you've strained their systems a lot more, so they can't do it for as long as they could otherwise. It's kind of like you've kind of turned them into like 1 pumps and they're done.
Okay.
So you put in a nitro boost, but it's not going to be as effective a system. And
that.
yeah, you've got your cash, you've got your own pod racer now, I guess, and the PodCon is open to you. They have brought there's a lot of different sort of events set up. You're sort of in the middle of these various sorts of pop-up shops that got set up. Some of them are selling illegal goods, some of them are just selling food and drinks. It looks like one of them is just an enclosed bar where people can kind of like, it almost looks like a ship that just plopped down and then they converted it into a bar. There is naturally, and because we talked about this in the beginning, I'm going to bring it up again, the genre of music that they play. This is canon. This is official Star Wars canon. The genre of music that they play in the cantina is called jizz. It is jizz music. It's spelled Jizz, and that is its name. So we are still PG-13 calling it that. So there is at least one jizz band there. It looks like they've kind of adapted their sets. So I'm going to do the worst thing I could possibly do to all of you. They are a new sort of jizz that sounds more like ska. They're a ska jizz.
No, ska. I don't know anything but ska.
It's jizz and brass. They keep telling you to pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Ska jizz.
It is very catchy.
Yeah, they got the ska jizz going. Other bands are going to come on at various intervals, but the race is scheduled to start in about 2 hours. So some racers are lining up, getting last minute preps going. Others have their teams just kind of perusing around. There are a lot of gamblers. It looks like there's 1 or 2 huts in the audience that are traveling with a small entourage of people, and a lot of people just trying to be sneaky and go unnoticed. Basically, everyone is armed. And that leaves you guys to explore PodCon.
Okay, quick question. Are any of the huts the legendary pizza?
Pizza the Hut?
Yes.
I don't know if people want to donate for Pizza the Hut to be here. I'd accept that, but
he always arrives late anyway.
Yeah. There is a little guy. He's kind of green. He's got big ears. He's just selling Star Wars merchandise.
Yogurt.
Well, approach
Can I
him
get Star
to
Wars
buy
the
some.
flamethrower?
Yeah, Star Wars the flamethrower. It's got
The kids love
Princess
this
Leia's
one.
face on it, and the flames come out of her hair buns.
Well, that has me sold. How much will it cost for me to pick up one of these novelty flamethrowers?
I want to do a yogurt. I want to do a yogurt voice, but I'm worried I'll sound anti-Semitic because it's just Mel Brooks doing his normal voice, just agitated. It's like the same thing with the cowboys or the Indians in Blazing Saddles, where he's like, he just speaks Hebrew for a little bit. But yeah, Yogurt the Hutt's there.
Yogurt the Hutt?
I guess
Yogurt the Hutt. He's a Hutt now.
I guess I can't be. I guess I can't be any worse than George Lucas was in Episode 1. So I'm just gonna roll with it, and not. So yeah, of course I guess I am doing it. Of course we've got it. Just right on down here. It'll be 5,000 credits for the Princess Leia flamethrower, named after the famous Alderaanian princess. Tragic loss, tragic, but we've got it. We've got it right here. Last thing out of Alderaan. Swear to God. Swear to the Force. Last thing to get out of Alderaan was this specific flamethrower that's shaped like Princess Leia.
But you've got a whole stack of them right behind you.
I know. It was a branding opportunity. They sent out a shipment, and I just happened to find it sort of tipped off. I guess he's a mobster now. I just kind of happened to find it tipped off on the side of the road.
What road?
No, the space like
one of the
Space roads.
adjacent
Space
asteroids
roads.
with
Yeah.
the road on it. From
Yeah,
the,
it was on a bit of Alderaan Road. We could buy that too if you want. There probably was.
Either way, I love
There probably
the
was a
flamethrower,
business
but-
selling bits of Alderaan. Like, you can buy a piece of the Berlin Wall. I wouldn't be surprised if you can get a hunk of Alderaan.
One of the first planets destroyed by the Death Star. Only 500 credits for it.
Yeah. One of the
so a
first-
tenth as
first-
much as the flamethrower.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean,
Don't
it
tell
is a
anybody, but it's actually
flamethrower.
just a space rock. No one needs to know.
All right. So
Jar dirt.
Yeah, you go through the various shops, all trying to sell you weird stuff.
It's inner rim garbage.
I'll say one or two of you probably have some very shady contacts. At the very least, our Merc does. Enough that you could probably pick up some pretty decent business, or go in and claim a favor, or see what the betting scene's like.
I was gonna say two things. First thing, we should figure out whether or not we're actually gonna race.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm definitely signing you up to race.
That's fine. The second one is who's running the smoothie booth, because obviously when we park, we're gonna open the booth right after out of the cargo bay.
This has been a big discussion leading up to this. They want to sell smoothies out of the ship, and I don't see any reason for them not to sell Star Wars smoothies, space smoothies, also made out of hunks of Alderaan.
Yes.
Enjoy the taste of Alderaan for the last time.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
that's a little grin there for me.
It's like a million berries cried out at once, and we're suddenly.
Oh, I love it.
Indeed. I'm definitely maintaining the Jawa juice smoothie after signing up our pilot for the race.
Like, there are Jawas around. You can find them, and it's not even like Italian food. It's like enjoy our Italian smoothie. It's made of Jeff.
Man, Jeff.
I'm sorry.
I'm still
So you set up. I'm gonna.
By Jeff, made by Jeff. Yeah, yes, exactly.
I'm gonna picture that. I've got kind of a picture in my head where you kind of lower down the cargo and you just kind of disassemble your kitchen and bring bits and pieces of it down, but probably the mechanic going through all the plumbing and various systems, just unscrewing things, running hoses down to the front of the ship, putting in like a sink and the smoothie machine and a fridge, and just like
it's going right next to the churro stand.
Yeah, who's running the smoothies and churros just go so well together.
Yeah.
Of course.
I'm really enjoying the churros, so I think like I'm just sitting around there, but then like they're setting up the Java stands. I'm like, okay, sure, I'll run this. And eat churros while I do it.
Yeah, you just like you've got like 3 churros in your hand and like holding them like Wolverine claws and
yeah, just
and set up a smoothie booth at PodCon. This is largely
Do I have
due
to
to
roll
the
for that?
I would say no, you don't have to roll
Okay.
to set up a smoothie booth. You're gonna have to roll to sell smoothies.
okay.
What
We
is
should
your
try.
pit?
We
what-
should try to cut a deal with the churro people.
Yeah, like a buy one get one
Yeah, like
A combo
Yeah.
deal.
mutual
Combo deal.
venture.
combo deal. Like if you come over with a smoothie, we'll give you a discount on your, or you come over with a smoothie,
Right.
we'll give you a discount on our churros. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be a negotiation
You
check.
could try to use the
Try and-
churros as like a straw.
Yeah.
I think we need
just
to
fall
require the
apart.
churro stand,
It's-
the one that's giving the discount.
Maybe.
It'd be
Everybody's gotta buy
worse than
smoothie
than a
price.
donut falling apart in your coffee, because like
We could just forcibly take over the churro stand and have both stands.
you could
I like that idea.
We
That
do
is
have
an
weapons.
option.
hostile
That would
takeover.
How
mean I
many
would get
churro
more
stands have we
churros.
strong-armed before?
an armed invasion of the churro stand.
Who's running the churro stand?
Yeah, who's
This is
running
a
the
good
churros?
question. Yeah.
The
I
churros
could
the
try
churro
one.
stand is run by
Mandalorians.
it's like there's
Churro.
like there's
Fire
4
churros.
Mandalorians all in full armor. Their biggest regret is they cannot eat the churros while it's to keep them from eating the churros while they're serving them. They make churros that are so good they've got to keep the helmet on, and they just like every once in a while they forget themselves and just bonk a churro up against their faceplate.
Sad.
This is very cross branding. It's in anticipation of Disney's new The Mandalorian
Yep.
churros, the Churrolorian.
Maybe we shouldn't fight them.
You should
They
form an
seem-
alliance. You
they
should
seem
form an
pretty-
alliance against the taco truck.
They seem
That's
pretty
a
serious
good
about their churros.
With my new flamethrower, I will ignite their reserves. I will ignite their reserves of cooking oil, sending all of their tacos into a blazing hellfire.
As your dreams of smoothie empire start to spread, and this game of smoothie civilization gradually pans out, because you just ended up next to Churro Gandhi, ready to just destroy PodCon. The event sort of spreads out. I'm going to say our pilot heads to the racing bay with at least one other person to prep the pod racer and get everything, because it was looked over before you arrived. It's going to go pretty dang fast. So who is accompanying the pilot?
Hope nobody
to-
likes my character that
to
much.
sign up their sheet.
It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna go so fast.
Yeah, so fast.
That's all that matters, right?
Captain, I keep telling you, there's nothing to worry about. I know what I'm doing.
One
Well,
of the-
since I'm not busy selling smoothies, I guess I can go.
All right. So
I'm protecting the smoothie stand.
the pilot and the sage head down to register their pod racer to take over for Timo's Teamsters, to race in the big pod race. You're
Wait.
running through, and again, I'm gonna go off because I basically ripped it off from that old N64 pod racer game, Grabvine Gateway.
Wait, before we go,
Yes.
do I know if anyone here is good at forgery of any kind?
You are criminals. This is a crime event.
I know.
Exactly.
Do you
Everyone
mean in
knows
your
forgery.
team?
In my team,
or-
yeah.
I'll let any of you if any of you want to like add that as part of your character, I can absolutely
Well,
let you.
Clearly,
Was that
having-
skullduggery?
That'd be skullduggery, yeah.
I have some proficiency, not a lot of experience.
I
See, do I
certainly
have it?
have the skill for it. I'm going to
Yeah.
assume that I did. How else
Let
would
me
I have
get
been
my
able to get all
let me
that
get my
space
room lights
tequila?
really quick. It'll be 1 second because it's getting dark out and
Got it. Well, because here's my idea. I was actually thinking about if we can actually.
there now people can see my face better.
I would-
Making this expression.
I would like to forge documentation that we're actually the B team for the team that got arrested, so we don't have to pay the entrance fee again.
Your Timos Teamsters B team or BMOS Beamsters.
Because I'm cheap. I'm gonna go with the fact we could save some money.
We're already registered. No,
Yeah.
they knew they were gonna get arrested. It was a ploy.
It was a ploy.
Yeah. Dan, why don't you make a skullduggery check?
Alrighty then. So.
And I will say that this is hard with 2 setbacks because you didn't see any of the documents that you're ripping off.
All right, that could 3 setbacks there.
Yes, that is 2 setbacks. 2 setbacks.
Oh, okay. Woo! Near that heart attack. I have 1 advantage and 1 failure. Again, how does this happen?
That's our smoothie merchant.
So
You know it.
Did we smell smoothie on the forged document?
But I did get a donation for $22 from Chaotic Anarchy. So I will say you got I'll say you got an aid package, which was one of the 2 options for a $20 donation. The documentation is not forged to say you are stepping in for Timos Teamsters. You are, in fact, being listed as having registered an entirely new team months in advance that must have slipped through the system. But the way you list it, you have essentially and accidentally taken the name of a famous and now retired pod racer. You have essentially described it like, no, I'm racing as I'm racing as Dale Earnhardt.
That's good.
This is Dale Earnhardt here to race. Yes, that Dale Earnhardt. But here's the other twist, and I'm going to essentially add this on for you guys because I rolled a destiny and this did not turn out in your favor. This man is wanted, and that is the reason that he retired.
Sounds about right.
He has been accused of killing other pod racers, twin pod races, which is, I mean, it's illegal, but it's not technically against the rules.
Wait, so
they
we're going to do an
we have
illegal
street
thing,
cred.
and we're getting in trouble by doing an illegal thing while we do an illegal thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But you're also doing an illegal thing, like, to the people who are doing the illegal thing. So you head down to the racetracks saying that you're this great pod racer, and there's a bit of a, like, as the documentation is put together, there's you start hearing like whispers and looks like, I can't be, was he always a bird? I don't remember him being a bird. He's a bird, right? I mean, he hasn't raced and nobody was broadcasting this. Maybe he was a bird.
Maybe he's dressed as a bird to avoid
suspicion. Yeah, that's so.
But using his real name.
He's using his real name.
Yeah. Does Sebulba know he's here? He'll fucking kill him. You go up, and there is a hut.
Give out free smoothies.
There is a hut organizing the race. He is sort of first working with all the racers, and then he is going to arrange the gambling based on, like, set the odds based on what he sees right now. And I can only think of one voice that is the most appropriate for a big disgusting slug monster. Welcome everyone to the race. Great to have you all here. The race is going to be huge. Such a good race, such a nice race. I'm so glad everyone's here. For racing, race day, this is what we are here to do today. Is all of you are going to race. I've got the best pod racers, the best pod races. I host them. No one else does pod races like I do pod races, and you can ask people.
A little thick here, huh?
People tell it. People say it and I tell them don't. I tell them not. Don't worry about it. You don't need to talk me up like that. But I'm like, oh, I gotta talk people up because they won't know otherwise. And people are saying that my pod races are the best, and who am I to argue with that?
I think we broke him.
Yeah. The last time I heard this, he was on a roller coaster.
Are you okay?
All right, so you want to race? You want to race in this race? That's great. Come on, stand right next to me. We can take a picture together. Great. Smile, smile. Great. Okay. Now you will find that the value of that picture is equivalent to the amount that I would have paid you, so you can consider yourself paid. Yeah, it's great. So this is a pod race run by Donald the Trump. Drink a monkey, Chewbacca. Chewbacca.
I was a hyena.
Yeah, he set you up. You are listed in for the race. But now it is entirely possible that just about every other racer on the track will be gunning to kill you.
Yay!
It's good. You're gonna outpace them.
We can bribe them.
Let's say we're gonna do the improv thing. Another pod racer comes up. Who would like to do the voice of this other pod racer? They are kind of they look like Mike Wazowski. I heard someone do a Kermit voice, and I didn't see who did it.
Yeah, who did that?
Who? It's me, Mike Wazowski. Who wants to do? Does any? Or all right. I guess I'm doing it.
Yeah, Will.
So I hear you're gonna race in this race here. You better watch out. I've got my eye on you. A little Cyclops humor for you.
Mm-hmm.
He's
I think I like him.
Oh, that's great to hear. I'm do this.
Beautiful eye.
The eye thing, yeah. I understand you've got quite a reputation on the racetrack there, and don't worry, I'm gonna be gunning for you, man. I'm gonna make sure that when I beat you, everybody's gonna be talking about me. Wazowski. I'm gonna be the best. I don't know. I had nothing on that.
Not bad.
Good luck.
Oh,
Little eye. Little guy.
yeah, he's very short. He's Mike Wazowski. He steps aside, and you see that there was a photo taken to promote the race, and they accidentally got him while he was standing behind his racer. The pod races, they gradually set up into place. Everyone's lined up, and the scene as a pod racer slides forward into place to get everybody in line, the camera pans along and it wipes along with the movement of the pod racer back to the churro stand, right? Back to the churro stand where Mandalorians are furiously frying dough and sugaring it to distribute to hungry patrons, and sort of giving you the side eye as you set up your smoothie stations. Okay, first off, what flavor of smoothie are you starting with?
Are we competing against the churros, or are we trying to supplement the churros?
I mean, really,
Yeah.
you're doing
Have
this.
they acquiesced to our strong arming is the real
No-
question.
No one's done the negotiation with the churro stand or your eventual war against the taco truck.
I mean, I'll be
I've
making
also done this.
negotiations with the churro truck. I've been giving the business all day.
You head over to the churro truck. I'm assuming you come with a congratulatory smoothie of like, no, here's my peace offering. Here, have a free smoothie on us, business rival.
Yeah.
What kind of smoothie goes with a churro?
I think that's an important question. Tequila?
Tequila.
Space tequila.
Yeah, a
Well,
tequila
no,
sunrise
some.
smoothie. A
A
tequila
margarita is
sunrise
technically
smoothie.
a smoothie.
You could do a margarita stand. You have technically all the ingredients. No, because Dan
we're
drank
out of time.
drank all the
Dang it.
tequila.
Dang it!
Gosh
And he
darn
drank the
it.
worm, which is definitely a
That
waste.
just means we have to get more from somewhere.
Oh no,
Oh,
where are we
yeah.
gonna get?
Where can we get
Is all the
more?
tequila for our margaritas in the taco truck?
Oh.
That's what you're going to war with the
We
taco
having
truck
heist?
for? Yes, you absolutely can do a taco heist. The Great Taco Caper.
All right, let's do it.
You head down. The taco truck has been set up. It is another very pop-up organization. It looks like it's designed to completely seal itself in the event of it having to travel between space, and it can also connect to ships that go past and sell them tacos on the go. The tacos, they look like they've been doing pretty good business through the course of the event. It's only been about an hour since you got here, but it looks like they've had a pretty brisk pace of people coming back and forth. And you see lined up along the back of the shelf, it's set up almost like a full restaurant, and they've been serving drinks. One of those is a let's say a Naboo Sunrise. Because everything has to be a Naboo Sunrise. It is a tequila drink designed so it's got like reds and yellows kind of stacked up on it to look like the sunrise in Naboo, reflecting off the light, while a man with one arm complains about there being too much sand in the galaxy.
These guys are the real deal.
Yeah, I killed them, not just the men but the women. And
one too many sunrise for you.
Yeah, the taco truck is being. Ironically, with your Jawa juice, is being run by an assortment of Jawas. They're all sort of like, you see them sort of pop up behind the counter as they take an order, and then they step down, and you see them pop up again as they step onto the grill to get the ground nerf going, ground nerf meat.
How do they reach the shelves?
With sticks. They've got those like grabby arms.
Yeah,
like, you know those like grabby arms.
But their actual droid arms have been repurposed.
Yeah,
they squeeze it. There's a hand.
Yeah, there's a droid down there, and it just kind of reaches down and puts things down.
This guy's got everything.
Yeah, they're Jawas. They've got a lot of stuff. It's the one thing we know about them: glowy eyes and a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it looks like one of those big sort of sand crawlers. And they're just kind of operating off the side, and it just kind of opens up in the side, and there's a lot of tequila there. There's a lot of tequila there ready for the serving. If you want to add it to your Jamba Juice, you're going to have to take it from the Jawas.
Yes.
Walk in the park.
I have a plan. Simple. I argue with all the Jawas. You sneak and steal all the tequila. I just keep, just try to buy something and argue price, because they argue forever. Then you just click, grab bottles, run away, good job. That's a perfect plan.
Okay, we're doing Stitch now.
We would cut new donation, had to change.
So Walohana means family. In this case, Jawa means business opportunity, and you are going to steal some of their tequila.
Yes.
Okay.
Who's grabbing the tequila while the distraction is had?
I guess I will
manage the smoothie stand.
That's true. So who's all doing what? Who's helping at the Java stand anyway?
Well, I'm with the pod racer, so I can't.
Yeah.
I'm not there.
Yeah.
I definitely hang around the Java juice stand, but wherever I need to be. If I need to steal tequila, I will steal tequila.
Okay. I'll steal the tequila. That sounds like fun. I need to take a break from the churros for a second.
You sneak down. I'd like you to make, as you surveil this area, I'd like you to make a perception check.
Okay.
And I will say that this is average with a setback.
Okay. Which would be...
So that is 2 purple dice and 1 black die.
Okay.
And the ability dice that you are rolling are going to be on your character sheet.
Gotcha.
Unfortunately,
I got 3 advantages, 2 failures, and 3 threats.
So that is a failure with a threat, because the advantages and threats cancel each other out.
Mm-hmm.
You, as you surveil this big taco truck full of Jawas, they realize that you are definitely casing the joint. You are going to need a pretty impressive distraction to be able to sneak in. I will say, because I think this will still count as a failure, The only way you can see to get in that completely bypasses all the Jawas is through the roof.
Okay.
You're gonna have to get up on top of this sandcrawler ship to be able to to be able to get inside and steal the tequila.
Okay. Sure.
You're gonna need to come up with you're gonna need to come up with a distraction.
That's true.
Oh, it's
I
easy,
can
Well, I got-
help with that.
I got, Stitch, so that should help,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We'll
All
talk
right,
about
you already have a distraction going.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I don't know.
So Dan, while you realize that they are now suspicious of your partner in crime, what distraction are you going to try to do to grab their attention?
All Jawas love negotiation. Yes, so I'm the biggest negotiation. I sell whole planet.
You're going to sell a planet.
Of course. Yes,
Which
yes.
planet, and is it Alderaan?
Yes. Selling Alderaan. They
right.
haven't heard news, but they just don't speak in Java speak, yeah?
Okay, this is going to be because you're not actually trying to sell them. You're not actually trying to sell it. You're trying to be as distracting as humanly possible.
Of course.
So
yes.
I would say,
Can I help set the rules by pretending to like
aren't
bite
you
for the
with
planet?
the pod racer, Haga?
Didn't we already finish with that?
I mean, you don't have to have stayed there, but I don't think you were part of this planning session to figure out what's going on.
I'm not that.
Yep. you do have some Mandalorians who you have established a decent I guess business partnership with. Who you've established, I guess, what would count for a decent business partnership now, who are armed with churro themed explosives.
They have churro themed explosives.
Instead of smelling like cordite when it blows up and sulfur, it smells like cinnamon.
Does it like explode cinnamon too? Does it like get into your eyes and stuff?
Yeah, it's just the worst. It's just the
yeah.
worst.
Yeah.
So can we bomb them?
Wow.
You might lose the tequila if you do.
One, that's a hit crime. Two, the Jawas.
It's okay. You just pay your criminal tax and it's fine.
With their churro stand, they do have an abundance of cinnamon. You could try and get them all to do the cinnamon challenge.
What are they holding the cinnamon in? Is it like a container or something, like a sack?
Yeah, I'd say it's probably just a collection of sacks and satchels full of cinnamon.
If we find a way to like shoot the container, make cinnamon go everywhere, cause like a fog cloud of cinnamon.
Wow.
Ooh,
Wow.
What? Hold on.
That's gonna hurt the eyes a lot if you don't have the right stuff.
There's going to be some very watery
And they do
eyes.
have the special glowy eyes, which I assume are more cinnamon sensitive.
Oh.
Also meant for
Brilliant.
us trying to get in. That's what I'm trying to.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Will Jawas be affected by the pheromones I throw out everywhere?
You want to flirt with
Presumably,
Jawas?
yes.
Seduce all the Jawas.
Yeah.
How many
Nice.
How many are there?
You've been able to see and keep track of about 3 to 5 Jawas operating the business. That's no guarantee. This is a big thing they're standing right outside of. There's probably more Jawas inside, but so far as you know, there are about 3 to 5 Jawas.
If you just walk in and take the tequila, like what are they gonna do?
You could. I mean,
they're just tiny little guys.
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe just reach over the counter and grab it. Like,
Right? What are they gonna do? Jump on me?
Just push them aside.
If they got a lot of junk, they probably have like
just
are
do
like an
this,
assassin
like hold
droid.
it up, like, oh, I'm sorry. Did you want some of this?
I don't know. Is there like?
This is your plan. This is the I'm just setting
Yeah.
the scene of tequila Jawas selling Naboo sunrises along with their tacos in this moderately successful taco truck.
Well, I like the idea of pocket cinnamon.
Okay. You head back. Your Mandalorian friends are like, basically, could you spare a cup of cinnamon? They assume you're planning some weird smoothie, and
You see, what I could do is I can try to stealth my way in there, and then if anyone catches me, they just get a little fistful of like pockets of it, and I keep going. No one saw me.
As Dan's Zeltron is being very distracting on the first floor, you head up, and there is a sort of ladder set up in the back it's Jawa size though, so these rungs are very awkward to manage. Yeah, it's you could go up like 15 at a time.
Okay.
And you find a access hatch up at the top. This is presumably because it's based on a sandcrawler that looks like it was designed to fly, because why not reuse model parts if you're in the Lucasfilms? You are going to need to make a either a mechanics or a skullduggery check to break in. And I'd say it's a hard mechanics and an average skullduggery.
Let's see. I'll do skullduggery.
All right, so that is going to be 2 purple dice.
2 purple. Okay, that was 1 advantage, 1 triumph, and 1 failure.
Oh, damn. So a triumph is, in this system, basically a critical success. Not only do you succeed, something amazing is going to happen.
Oh, yes.
As you step in, you look around, and the lights gradually flicker on as they detect your motion, and you find what is effectively Dionysus's liquor cabinet. There are bottles and bottles and bottles of Alderanian wine, Corellian whiskey, Naboo tequila, because whatever. Just drinks and drinks and drinks from all across the galaxy, ready for the taking. Seated in the center, sort of navigating the drinks, and is a droid that you recognize is a bartender droid.
Oh, I can't pocket stand a droid.
So that is your triumph. There is more liquor here than could possibly exceed the dreams of drunken avarice, and a bartender droid to mix it all for you. But that's a new challenge of how are you going to get that all out?
Well, do I have like a backpack at least?
I'll say yes.
Okay.
Or at the very least, you have a sack.
Yeah, I have a sack. Well, obviously, I'm going to try to get the tequila first.
While the music of scotch is
gross.
passes through. People are picking the jizz up. Pick it up. Pick it up.
Yeah. We're putting that down, but we're picking the tequila up for sure. And how much tequila can I grab all of it? Like how much can
you
I
definitely cannot grab all of it without assistance.
Can I just keep going like in and out, and I just kind of have like a pile to the side of the ship?
Make a stealth check. And I would say if you're making one trip, for each trip you're gonna make, I'm gonna add 1 difficulty dice.
Okay. How many, like how much alcohol could I get in like 3 trips?
It's all you can shove into a sack. I would say enough to keep basically everybody on the ship drunk for a month if you make 3 trips.
Okay.
Or enough to run a small business for about a week.
Okay. I guess in all week, because how long is the Potter? Is it just like it's like a 1-day convention,
Podrace,
or is it like
it's a day-long convention.
Okay.
The idea is we're gonna set up and then break down before the Empire can find us.
Okay. I guess 2 trips should suffice for now then.
All right. So that is going to be average difficulty. There was a bartender bot and the lights did turn on. So I'm going to say 3 setback dice for to add on top of that.
Is that the black ones?
It's 3 black, 2 purple.
Okay. Okay, well, once per game, I can remove two black from any one check.
All right.
I'm gonna do that one.
Okay.
So it's 1 black and 2 purple then.
Go for it. Yeah.
Okay, and then my stealth is. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, I got 4 advantages and 2 failures.
So, just strictly by the failures, you do not manage to stay stealthy. You are found. A handful of Jawas as you are.
Handful?
I mean, they're not very big.
That's true.
Is that,
So do they always have to go in crowds then, just to make
you could
themselves
probably
look a little
palm
bigger?
a Jawa like a basketball.
That's true.
Hold them up like this.
Yeah.
But as Dan is being very distracting, trying to sell them Alderaan.
Still one piece, no promise.
They basically say in Java, wait, isn't there a standing monarchy? Like, it's theirs, right? And then they realize that they have run out of a particular type of liquor. So one of them heads back upstairs as you've got a armful of liquor holding up and putting it in the bag so you can sneak out like the Grinch. They look up and see you with all of their booze. What are you gonna do? I'll say the advantage is only that one.
How hard would
sees
it be
you.
to just grab them and chuck them in the sack?
I guess. Oh, it depends how quickly you can move. Just to run, grab him, and put him in the sack. I'll say that's probably an athletics check.
Okay.
He is caught by surprise. I will say you've got at the very least 1 boost die to that roll, but that's going to be a hard athletics check to put him in a sack.
Hard would be
3 purple.
Okay.
Put that Jawa in a bag.
I mean, there's nothing that says we don't dispose of bodies that we put in sacks.
All right,
One
so
success.
you straight up, you see him step in, and he's like, "Oh, baby!" And then you just grab him by the head, yank him back out, and shove him in your bag, and cinch it tight, and I guess leave with a Jawa in a bag.
Yep.
Going to Jawa juice.
He's yours now. What do you want to do with him? Where do you want to put this bag of Jawa?
I don't know. I didn't think about.
Now you can't use the sack to steal more liquor until you deal with this Jawa.
That's true. Can I just go to the Mandalorians real quick and be like, hey, can you babysit this Java for me for a second?
He's not the Jawa's gonna try to leave.
That's true.
He's not gonna want to stay there.
I'll brain him with my big Griffin wrench. If you bring him back to the
You have a big Griffin
yeah.
wrench. You could just hit him with it, but I mean,
okay,
do you want to have your first
I'm pretty sure it's just the sack comes down
direction being
up,
murdering your Jawa.
I'm like,
You're not.
But don't get
It's
too
not-
much blood on the
It's
Jawa
not
outfit.
murder.
Because the Chandra fan can be a Jawa in disguise.
Yeah, you could swap them. Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh, yes.
now we have a disguise.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'm going to run it back to the Java stand. I'm going to hand it over to you, and I'm going to be like, here, deal with this, and then I'm going to run back to the ship.
You have no idea what they're talking about until they essentially and again, because I live too close to the biggest mall in the country, and they've already had their Christmas decorations up for the past 2-3 weeks. Like friggin' Santa Claus, they run up and they just pull a very angry Jawa out of the bag and just holding it by the scruff of its neck, here, this is yours now, deal with it. And they put a Jawa who is very fighty and does not want to be there. He starts kicking. He's gonna start trying to kick at your shins, which I guess you're kind of on eye level with him. So he's gonna try and legit fight you to get away. I'm gonna give you 1 chance to react because you are at your smoothie stand.
I'm gonna hit him with the wrench.
Okay, you go at him with
Yeah.
Make a melee attack.
All right.
Melee attacks are always 2 difficulty. He has no idea what's going on, and he just got yanked out of a sack. So I'll say 2 boost 2.
And just for the record, Charger fans are small bat creatures. So
yes. You are.
I have 1 in brawn. I don't know who's going to punch this guy after this fails.
Well, I mean, the Jawa's not doing that much better.
It's just 2 failures.
One of them runs
2 failures. You swing, and
these are all blank.
I guess being a Charger fan, you're more used to fighting people who are taller than you. So you swing your big Griffin wrench and just go wide on the Jawa. It just swings right over his head. There's a little like breeze disturbing his hood, and he's just Penny, and he tackles you. So
Help.
that is a success and a threat to tackle you. The Jawa leaps in and just goes right in him, and then these 2 small Star Wars creatures are just rolling around in the dirt, kind of punching at each other. Just one of them's making high-pitched bat noises, the other is speaking Jawa nonsense. And eventually, I will say one of the Mandalorians operating the Trilorian just starts pulling you apart and holds you both up by like your clothes, and you just like you are making a huge commotion, and it is definitely affecting business. Fortunately, the taco truck has not yet noticed that anyone's missing, as you are stealing more and more liquor from them. Which I will say is an otherwise successful heist until this guy goes back and reports what's happening.
Okay. Can I still try to do negotiation? Not for whole planet, but for other things. I work them down from the big sale to the small sale.
What are you trying to buy from them? Like just a taco?
Oh, no. So, I'll try to sell smoothie bus, or neon lights. I sell them neon lights, they pimp out ride, everything great, and in return, all I ask is a bunch of booze.
Okay, just because like this is a thing your character will probably realize, you want to send them up to check out their liquor cabinet.
I'm going to tell you right now, their liquor ain't up there anymore.
Yeah. Neither is their friend, who they are now legitimately wondering, what happened to Steve? Where is he? That is a proper Jawa name, Steve.
Okay. Okay. So I try and negotiate neon lights for some credits, not too many. I haggle them up and then down and then up again, like Jawa does. That was that they knows that I really know their business model. They can't fool me. And I try and get other droids, some kind of droid, just something so I can have distraction later and be like, hey, droid defective, minute refund. And then, of course, they're paying attention to that rather than all of the booze missing. Yes.
All right. Yeah, do a negotiation check.
Okay.
This is, I will say, hard with 3 setbacks because they've been dealing with you for like the past 15 minutes and they're done.
Okay. And I'll get automatic 1 advantage. And 1. Okay. Yeah. I'm great at negotiation. That's why I wanted to do this. So let's see. I have 1 failure, 3 advantages.
1 failure and 3 advantages. They don't tell you anything. What they do is they
crappy joke.
Yeah. What they do is they essentially just give you a free taco and tell you to go away.
Oh, free taco.
You get a free taco, and then they start like scrambling around, going like, "Well," and I'll say one of your advantages is Steve the Jawa is a notorious drunk. So it is entirely possible that he just absconded with all their booze, and they're like, Steve. Why did we bring him? Why did we bring Steve?
We
had to know this was going to happen.
Steve? Okay, I will enjoy my
He
chocolate.
can't even get a job at a space Applebee's anymore. And they're just like in Jawa, like going like, well, I mean, he's married to my cousin. It's like, well, that doesn't. You don't have to hire him.
It's fine.
Choose coin. Yeah.
Yeah. Tyler, what has your character been up to while all of this nonsense has been happening? So as they pass Dan the taco, the wipe moves with the taco.
Well, how
And the camera
close
just go like over the top of the taco.
Yeah,
and, like,
it's like it like careens along the Nerf meat like a spaceship, and then it just
and it
cuts
turns
to
into
black,
the landscape, and then
they hold up the taco, it zooms in, and then the taco transitions into the landscape of whatever Tyler's doing.
Sure, I'm trying to figure out where our pilot and our pod are going.
You're trying to check out the race?
Yeah, well, I was guarding the smoothie stand from Mandalorians for a little while, and then we made a deal with them, so surprisingly to me. So I'm done with that. Then I was going to go look for our pod racer. Basically, I'm a little on edge because I don't trust that whoever's running this thing, Yogurt the Hut or whoever it is,
Donald the Trump.
Yeah, Donald the Trump, of course. Yeah, I don't think he's doing too well in security. So I just want to make sure we're not about to be bombarded by Imperial agents.
As all right, you head down. Are you just kind of like making a show of don't fuck with the ship, or are you just trying to surveil?
Just trying to surveil, I think.
I would say then make a average stealth check.
Alrighty.
So just 2 purple dice.
2 purple and I've got 2 green. All right. That is let's see. 2 success, 1 advantage, 2 failure, 1 threat. So I think they even out, right?
So you kind of, it's just kind of a wash.
Yeah, it's just a wash.
All right. Well, I was really just going to see how this next one going. Make a perception check. This one is, I will say, also average, but since you just had a wash, add a setback.
Great. That's 1 black, right?
Yep. 2 purple, 1 black.
All right. 2 success, 3 threat.
As you look in, you see a couple people. Most of them are members of the pod racing crews and teams running over all the various pods. You see your pilot. You see the, I guess, August character headed back, or are you still there?
I think I'm still there for now.
You see a couple people, and I will say the threats are, what stands out to you are 3 different people. One is kind of a roving mechanic. One looks almost like a journalist. It looks like they're just taking photos to promote the event. And one is the hut themselves, a big weird toupee on their hut body, surveying the whole of the event. And it looks like they're not really looking at they're not looking at what you'd expect they would if they're really trying to suss out odds for gambling. It almost looks like they're looking at trying to spot weaknesses.
Right. Well, if I don't find anything out of the ordinary, I will go see what our pilot's up to, see if everything's going well.
All right. Heading down, you go to speak to the pilot. They're standing next to this pod racer that looks like it's cobbled together out of various parts. It looks much nicer than it did before when it was on your hold, but
excellent.
He's sort of, I'm assuming, just doing a once over on the ship on the pod as it's getting ready to head out to the line.
Yep, like pre-flight check kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Since I don't know anything about the way the pod was registered, I'll just ask. So everything went smoothly then. We're good to go.
Pretty much.
It's good to hear.
As expected.
All right. What time's the race?
Like about like an hour or something like that.
And it starts in about half an hour.
About a half hour.
Because a lot of time has been taken on this tequila heist.
Right. Yeah. All right. That's all I'm gonna do then.
They're probably gonna try to kill me.
Wait, come again?
I guess we registered under a name of a notoriously vicious pod racer.
Why?
You know what? That wasn't my choice.
You basically just I'm gonna say you probably just basically like Googled pod racer names, and this was the first one that came up.
Yeah.
Is that gonna be a problem?
Oh, they're gonna try to kill me. I'm pretty certain of that. There's gonna be several of them that are gonna try to kill me.
Does the pod have weapons?
Of course not.
You can. Do we need to get weapons?
If it's as fast as they say it is, no.
Oh, it's that fast.
Maybe some pulse grenades. I don't know.
Well, then I'm gonna live up to the reputation everybody expects me to have.
Well, might as well play the part. I'm gonna go look for some grenades.
As you walk out going to look for grenades, I would like you to make a streetwise check.
Great. Is this just average?
Yeah, I'll say average.
Okay. That is one threat. Oh wait, no, hold on. I need to take out the setback. One success, one threat.
As you were walking out, you realize that a photo is being taken of you.
Son of a bitch. Oh, it's the journalist. Never mind. Well,
I said they look like a journalist.
Bounty hunter.
Okay, but I'm not really familiar with journalists. I spent a lot of time on the Outer Rim, so like.
Mm-hmm. So what would your character's reaction be to having their photo taken?
I don't know.
Or maybe having that photo being uploaded to a third party.
Is the threat that you just smiled for the photo?
I don't know. I don't think I don't think I'd be terribly like fazed by it. I'm pretty set on the other problem that we have right now. Which is the pilot.
Maddie.
Pilot not trying to die.
Oh no.
I'm pretty set in stone and trying to find grenades. Don't care about the photo.
You set up, and as you do, the pods line up into line. Time continues forward, and then we're going to skip ahead a little bit as the pods start to set up for the race itself.
Yes.
There are about a dozen pods all lined up in a row ahead, leading out of this city towards the jungle ahead. First off the line, Tix, your bird companion, sits in the pod racing course as the countdown from 3, 2, and I'm going to need you to make an average piloting planetary check.
Ooh, did I get our pilot some grenades?
I'd say yes. Yeah, you've got a couple grenades to
Fantastic.
Chadra, fantastic.
Totally know how to do that.
I had grenades too. Just waiting to say like, hey, I've got grenades.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I know how to cook them and use them properly.
Excellent.
Grenades?
I end up with 2 successes.
Your pod racer, as all these other ones are lined up alongside you, your pod racer is thrumming. You hear the heat of this engine just cranking up behind you as you press it forwards. The beginning of the race is almost a straight line shot, so I'm not having you roll against this the 3130's handling, which is not great, and you are almost immediately rocketed forwards by this by propulsion that you probably didn't expect.
Welcome.
Bring you up as all the pod races start to push forwards. You are immediately just cranked ahead of the rest of the pods, putting you in line for second place. There is one pod racer ahead of you. one next to you, and all the others are trailing right behind you. As it does, you are moving forward. I'm going to need you to make another piloting planetary check to avoid them trying to crash into you.
Do we have one of those cheering parties going on at the end, the finish line? You know?
Yeah, there's a bunch of small children who can't act waiting at the finish line to cheer you on when you...
Same as before, same roles before?
No, this time I'm going to be factoring in the pod racer's handling. So that is going to be 3 setbacks.
3
average roll with 3 setbacks.
2 successes, 2 threats.
You sit in, and as this other pod racer comes in to hit you, yours sort of spins back. The third sort of hits up and knocks you up. You are going to have another setback die the next time you are making a roll.
Awesome.
The pods strip ahead of you, and you can see the roads gradually transition from this sort of paved steel roads out to this old dirt path leading into the geysers ahead. Make another piloting check, same one as last time, but with 4 setbacks now instead of 3.
1 success, 2 threats.
1 success, 2 threats. Again, you are rocketing forwards. This early part of the race is mostly a straightaway, and you find that you are not having all that much trouble catching up with this huge thing, but you can tell from the readout on your pod racer that you are starting to put a lot more force onto it than it can really handle, as you again rocket forwards. And this would put you at, you were the 31. You're tied for the lead now.
I'm gonna have to push it as best I can on the straightaways.
As you are in this straightaway, you come to the geyser pillars. This one's a lot more twisty, sort of trying to navigate around these natural forming giant pillars of stone. And you see up ahead of you that the rocks that you knocked over before on your way in could potentially be used as a hazard that the other pod racers didn't anticipate.
Perfect. See,
what do you want to do about these rocks you knocked over?
I'm gonna drive towards them to try to make it to where I don't care if I'm in the exact lead. If I'm even tied with the lead, I want to drive to where I'm low enough that they can't see the rocks beyond my exhaust.
You're using your ship to obscure the Yep.
And then go over. So.
All right, you're essentially gonna go low and then hop.
And then hop, but I'm going to slow down when I go up so they can try to shoot under me.
This is going to be with your normal setback dice. This is going to be hard with 3 setbacks. But since you knew about this beforehand, you add 2 boosts.
Yay. Oh my god, so much dice. How bad is it?
I think you'll need a bucket.
The end result, 1 advantage.
With that, I'm going to say that you, it's a wash, but you do manage to sort of like everyone kind of falls for it, but no one is damaged by it. But everyone just kind of has to scramble around to try and avoid this catastrophe, which does actually manage to put you at the front of the pack. As this goes forwards, you are gradually transitioning into this thick underbrush, which will again make this track a lot more twisty. Your lack of handling is going to be more and more potentially dangerous.
I'm going to slow down a little bit too because I've been pushing it too hard.
Displayed on the screens for everyone to see is this race. All the various pod racers are jockeying for position, and then you hear people start to rumble and shout about what you're not quite sure yet until you all look up, and there is this massive arrowhead-like shape hanging suspended in the sky.
Well, I'm fucked.
Like how it's just you. It's like, nope, they're here for me. Oh, God.
That's what he assumes.
The little race has nothing to do.
You can all, if you would like, make an easy
leave check.
Leave check.
Flee check. Well, your pilot is busy.
Yeah, I ain't paying attention to anything in the sky.
Make a core worlds check.
Okay.
This is easy.
I'm pretty sure I'm being left behind.
To pack up the smoothies.
Yeah, there's priority. Don't get rid of the smoothie.
And that's a secret recipe.
Save the smoothie stand.
Success.
There's always money in the smoothie stand.
2 successes and 2 advantages for me.
Just an advantage.
They can't arrest
Oh wow.
You've all sort of seen the outline of an Imperial Star Destroyer. The very distinctive wedge. This one has a sort of rivet at the end behind it. It feathers out to more of an arrowhead, and it's massive.
Come on, man. We're just
This isn't
I wonder
just
how they made that.
an Imperial Star Destroyer. This is an Imperial Super Star Destroyer. The kind of ship that can't even approach a planet because it is so huge that that the planet's gravity will break the ship.
like overkill for a little pod racing.
Not only is
for
this,
something?
you all managed to recognize that this is not just any crackdown on a pod racing event. This is the full might of the Imperial Army, which means Darth Vader has come for you. Aga,
well,
your character is familiar with the Jedi Purge and then the movement of the Inquisitors that has come after it.
I'm gonna say that they are old enough to be a survivor of the Purge.
Are, yes, a former member of the Jedi Order. And for those people, Darth Vader means death.
Just for them?
For everybody.
We're
For
fine.
everybody.
That might be
I'm gonna say that the actual purpose why I was here was to meet up with somebody who was also a survivor like me. And this carpet that I had, that was supposed to be like our signal to recognize each other. And I just stand there with this carpet and, well, fuck.
And now we got one. We can say it once before we're rated R.
Living on the edge.
Nicole, another thing is your character is force sensitive and has at least one force rating. And there are a lot of stories about young people born after the Purge who were once tested as Jedi, and now those same tests to check your midichlorian count.
Oh God.
My take on midichlorians is that it's just that the Jedi were idiots and they thought correlation was causation. That you've got more of them, but the Force doesn't come from them. And I kind of like how the Clone Wars did it, where midichlorians just help. They aren't the source.
But
Does Vader's pod racer come out of the Super Star Destroyer and join the race? And the rest of us are fine?
It's still arriving in the air.
Okay.
But both of our force sensitive characters can definitely sense intense power coming from there, as it looks like the silhouette above you is starting to break up. And then you realize that is a squadron of TIE fighters and troop transports splitting off and arriving at PodCon. Very much there to harsh your vibe. Everybody is starting to pack up. The Jawas have decided that Steve is not worth it. Leave him behind. They are readying, but Imperial tactics usually at this time, and so far it doesn't look like it's happened yet, but you would know Imperial tactics for something like this would be to get an interceptor in, make sure all the ships are grounded, blow up whoever doesn't leave, and that's definitely going to be what the TIE fighters are for. Escaping is going to require either a lot of luck or a very good pilot.
It's just like any other good convention. The 501st shows up, and you know that's.
But usually the 501st aren't actually armed. You're gonna have a little bit of time before stormtroopers arrive and before Vader arrives.
Well, our pilot's racing still, so that's out of the question. Can we steal a pilot?
Is Steve a pilot?
Oh, better question.
Are we just gonna stick him in the sack?
Steve's a notorious drunk, and you left him in a bag full of alcohol.
Steve's been promoted to pilot.
Well, my character's immediately is trying to pack up the Java stand, like, you know, getting all
We're
the tequila.
You guys took some time to dismantle your kitchen and move it out. So you if you leave without your smoothie stand, you leave without your kitchen.
No.
Yeah, we're not leaving without that.
We can't leave without the smoothie stand.
There's always money in it. Setting everything up, the stormtroopers are coming. It's pending, and the scene goes up. The camera swings up to look into the sky, and then swings back down onto a different scene with the pod racers moving through the jungles and the trees. Make an average check, 2 purple dice with 4 black.
Oh, better.
Does our pilot have a comm?
Yeah, we need to
Of course.
Code Vader.
2 successes, 2 threats.
2 successes, 2 threats. You are gradually, as you are slowing down, the damage isn't as bad as it could have been, but you are cutting back on the throttle and sort of swinging in through these trees. You can see behind you, as you can, all of you can see in the cameras that are looking, one of the racers sees the shadow sort of move over the jungle, and this entire, this is a starship the size of Manhattan, and it's blots out the sun for a second. You can see that one of the racers behind you has looked up and then looked back down just in time to, just like in episode 6, come right into this gnarled tangle of vines and trees and explode behind you as it collides and burns up.
So I think we need a crazy Ivan.
I can't stop right now in any way, shape, or form.
No, we'll come get you.
Okay.
I've got a rank in piloting planetary.
The ship.
We will meet you at the finish line.
You are still in first. This has slowed just about everyone down.
I have 2 ranks in piloting too. So
as this ship as your pod racer winds through, you are being informed. The Empire's here. The Empire's here. They sent their biggest goddamn ship. We are screwed. We are effed. We are criffed. All the Star Wars words.
Jawad?
Yeah, we're Jawad. Jawa juice.
Jawa juice.
Let's scramble like some eggs. Get out of here. But
what's this bat in a cage?
A pod racer is kind of hard to pull a U-turn with.
Yeah.
Your best option might be
your
best, or maybe your only option is to finish the race.
I'm gonna have to keep
get
going
back in time. And I'm gonna have you do one more roll as you continue through. The path ahead of you splits off through the jungle. It looks like there are 2 separate paths. One to the left looks a bit more clear. The one to the right looks like it heads up, where it's possible that if you make a wrong jump, you could be knocked down or knocked out. So it looks like you've got a safer, slower route to the left and a more dangerous route to the right.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to I'm gonna take the dangerous route, because if I go up, I can take a quick glance to see the state of where the ship is, so I can get my bearings.
Okay, you take the higher route up to the right. I'm gonna need you to make a hard check, so 3 purple, and again with 4 black.
Yay! How bad? 2 successes, 3 threats. God dang.
You head up and you look up ahead as the pod racers all zoom through this track. You see that a small contingent of TIE fighters have broken off to specifically target the pod race. And one of them looks very different from the others.
Oh, yay!
The cameras that were being used to follow this race are being trained on the TIE fighters just as well. All a bunch of droid cameras and everything. And one of the cameras pans up and is starting to try to chase after the TIE fighters. It can't really match that speed, but one was put up ahead to try and like get the best shot. This is so cool. We're like, this is the edgy pod racing thing that everybody tuned in to see. So let's see it. It's one of them gets up ahead and looks up at the TIE fighters. They're all cruising down. You can see, and I'm glad Tyler's here because this is one of my favorite dumb parts from Star Wars Rebels. On top of the different TIE fighter is standing a black figure.
No.
Holding a glowing red rod in his hands. And you see his hand as he's flying, just slowly moving and twisting as the TIE fighter is making maneuvers, chasing after these pod races, which, oh my God, I love it so much from Rebels, where Darth Vader, just to be extra as all hell, is descending down on these people using the Force to pilot his TIE fighter, and it's so badass and so. Anakin, why are you doing this? Why, like?
You know he just loves drama.
Oh God, he's the biggest drama queen in the friggin' galaxy. All of the Skywalkers are.
Oh, yes.
Can we get our ship airborne and start blasting TIE fighters?
It's gonna take you a minute, but yeah, you all pile in. I need the mechanic to make a mechanics check for stowing the kitchen. Assuming you're gonna take your time to set it up.
Oh, of course. We can't leave that behind.
This is, I'd say, average, but with 2 setbacks because you are rushing.
Okay, average 2 setbacks. Where are my setbacks?
Now, if we've done this before, you would think we'd have an easy teardown process by now.
Well, I mean,
Super
you have an
efficient.
easy teardown process, but it usually assumes you've got some time.
Can it just
I
be
think
like
I got slapped in the
Lego
face a
game
couple of
where
times
they
too.
just-
So
I mean, you're skipping mopping and all the various cleanup. You're gonna sanitize.
we always skip
afterwards.
the mopping.
What are
Yes.
droids for, right?
Exactly.
So
We have
I
a Jawa now.
have a triumph
A drunk
and
Jawa in
2
a bag.
advantage.
Yeah, you still got a Jawa in a bag that
He
you're
can do
just...
the mopping.
So a triumph with 2 advantages.
Uh-huh.
You managed to load basically everybody in, and I would say the triumph is you can basically get up in the air immediately. You are up and above the. Are you going above the pod race to try and like pull a crazy Ivan, or are you?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, you are.
Basically, we're gonna all fly through the finish line at once, grab the reward money, the prize money, and then make for atmosphere, right?
Yeah.
You
definitely.
so
Very
this
Scooby-Doo of us.
this ship this freighter is now trailing directly behind an assortment of a small squadron of TIE fighters, at least 5 TIEs with Darth Vader up front.
This is fine.
Yeah, you guys have a
This is
solid
a normal
plan.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
We did this last week.
Who's manning the guns?
Ooh. I guess
Should not be me.
I should probably do that.
Are you even sober yet?
This is definitely a good question.
Wait, are you sitting next to the sack with Steve in it, and you guys are just sharing?
There's a little hand
would
comes out,
assume so.
passes the
There are-
bottle.
I'll pilot if anybody else has gunnery or whatever.
Yeah, I've got 2 points in gunnery.
Yeah, you should fire the lasers.
Okay, I will do that.
Charging my laser.
These rusty lasers against 5 TIE fighters with Darth Vader. This will go
Oh, wait, hold on. I have 3 in gunnery. Okay. Oh,
Oh.
I'm drunk.
well.
Yeah, you are drunk, and you're going to be adding blacks to any of your checks. But
There's 2 guns though.
yeah, there are 2 guns.
We'll get one.
Fuck it, let's go.
Yeah. That's 2. We're R now. Yeah.
With both guns trailed up, you are
Gone to
spitting
the dark
out.
side.
Hmm?
Well, I guess I gotta shoot at Darth Vader then. But that's a horrible idea.
He's standing on top of it. Shoot
Yeah,
at
you want to
him.
get his attention? What are you gonna do?
He's gonna deflect my shots, and then we're all dead.
Pew.
I will
I
try.
brought this.
Wait. So you're behind the fighters. The fighters are behind me and the other pod racers, right?
Yes.
Oh, we caught up to our pod.
No, you'd have to like gun
We
the
had to
engine
through
to
the
catch
TIE
up to the
fighters.
pod. Like
just-
pod racers are crazy friggin' fast, but they're still planetary vehicles, and you can go over the track, so you could theoretically just get ahead of them if you wanted to.
Can I start shooting at the interceptor or the TIE fighter?
Yeah.
In the front.
Make a gunnery check.
Great. Is this average? What are we doing here?
You're at a pretty decent range right now. Until you can close, this is going to be hard.
Okay, so that's 3. 1 success, 2 threats.
Oh wait, I forgot something. Because Darth Vader is piloting, he is an adversary. Adversaries have special rules where you automatically upgrade the difficulty of checks made against them.
Oh.
But you're shooting the TIE fighter underneath Darth Vader, right? You're not shooting at Darth Vader.
Yeah. I'm trying to shoot. I'm trying to shoot
Not an
that
adversary,
down.
right?
You are going
Maybe
to
the-
upgrade it 3 times. So it's not
6.
3 purple dice, it's 3 red dice.
So 3 purple, and 3 red.
No, just 3 red.
Yes. Okay. 1 success.
You fire ahead and you see your laser shot ping against the side of the side of this TIE Advanced. It sort of shudders and twists as control is temporarily lost, and then you see the face ahead through your scope turn to look at your vessel that would dare fire.
They weren't even looking at us.
Maybe I'm happy I'm not in the show.
What?
It's
they were
Darth Vader.
I thought they were
Nothing
chasing us.
nothing is at his attention. Everything is beneath Darth Vader's attention.
Just got exponentially worse.
Yeah. So now you have his interest.
That's fine. Bring it
Yeah.
on.
Speaking of, may I try to mask my force presence in some way?
Absolutely. Make a discipline check.
Probably would be wise.
That is a hard discipline check, which means 3 red. Because it's
Okay,
well,
hard
actually, you're not rolling against Darth Vader.
Yet.
Yes.
That'll change soon.
Should I have tried to shoot as well?
Okay.
Please do. Please do.
So this is regular hard check or?
Yeah, regular hard check. 3 purple dice.
Okay.
I think I did something, guys.
That's 3 successes.
Nice.
Wait, does that make sense? 3 successes, 2 triumphs, 1 threat?
The ship
3
does have
successes,
guns,
2
though.
triumphs, 1 success, 1 threat.
Yeah.
That what is? Oh, so yeah, that's you. As you are masking you managed to mask
The whole
your
ship.
presence within the Force, and through that masking, you have simultaneously reached out your senses. You feel the pure rage of a Sith Lord as you close yourself off. You feel the fear of your crew, and you feel the track that your pilot is racing underneath. And as you feel it, you briefly communicate to them the next turn that they could make to get there the quickest as you shut yourself off from the Force.
Yay!
So you will be much better coordinated for a Crazy Ivan picking him up.
Ready for the win.
Right. Should I try shooting now, though?
That's up to you, really. This
You
is
know
a
what?
role-playing game. Play that role.
Why not? Did I still have the 2
Shoot it down.
disadvantages
Get
for being
drunk.
drunk?
Yes.
Okay.
Still have the 2 setbacks because you're drunk.
All right. And is it going to be purple or red for this one?
This is still red. So 3 reds to hit.
Oh
All
my
right. Well,
God.
let's see. I have a success and a threat. And that's it.
Okay. Another hit rolls against you. Rolls against the tie advanced, and you can see it shudder and shake as the control through it over the force is shaken and then forcibly reimposed, and this tie advance starts to break off from the pack.
Yeah.
It looks like it's slowing down to meet you.
Oh, this is not good.
As you all race forwards, looking at the race camera, the film camera cuts to the race camera, all the various pod racers kind of trying to break off or avoid. You see that the ties are lining up, and some are shooting at the pod racers in the back of the pack, which are spinning off trying to avoid laser fire descending down from the heavens onto this racetrack. The camera is looking at Darth Vader's ship panned up next to all the other TIE fighters moving. As it moves up, the ship descends and crashes as control of it through the force is released, and Darth Vader leaps onto the top of a Corellian freighter that seemed to be trailing behind it.
This is what we want.
Oh, we are so
all of you hear a very heavy thump on your ship.
If we had a bird.
Hey, don't hit me.
As the scene cuts, as the lightsaber ignites and the red light fades to black, and we cut back to the pod race. You are currently going through the higher jungle track. I'm going to need you to make a hard check. As you can see up ahead that the two different tracks, you can see where they come back together. You almost can sense it somehow, and you can see that there is going to be a tunnel that will briefly protect you, like a tunnel made of sort of an interwoven lattice of vines and trees and roots, that if you pass through it will briefly protect you from incoming TIE fighter fire, but will make it almost impossible to join up with your ship for a little bit.
Does it get the 4 black dice too?
This is going to be 3 black dice. There are no setbacks for this particular run, but it is going to be hard. So 3 purple, 3 black.
Yay.
Are you slowing down to give yourself a bit more control?
Actually, because I can hear the TIE fighters actually shooting pods behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna slow down. I gotta slow down a little bit. Otherwise, I'm just gonna wreck. So yeah.
All right. So that is going to be 3 purple with 2 black. I'm removing a setback to account for giving some more control to handling. 1
success, 2 threats.
You transition in
every time.
You see ahead of you that as you're coming right up onto this channel, it looks like one of the TIE fighters, maybe the churro shop, transitions behind them and knocks them in the back. Because they're not shielded, the TIE fighter you hear its characteristic screaming as it crashes forwards and lands directly in front of the gate, the gap that leads to this cleared out tunnel. You're not hit, but you are going to have to go through this TIE fighter wreckage.
Yay!
To make it past. And now is an interesting point. One thing that a lot of pod racers have is a very light shield. You know, as they pass through, there's a lot of debris and bugs, and you don't want to hit a beetle when you're traveling this faster than a bullet. So, when the engineer was tweaking the pod racer, did you upgrade the shields as well, or did you just upgrade straight line speed?
I don't remember what that roll was. Sounds like we want more shield. Do you want me to roll now?
This is going to be a retroactive mechanics roll.
Okay.
I really think you're going for mostly speed, but
this is going to be a hard mechanics check with 2 setbacks. So 3 purple, 2 black.
Okay.
I mean, logically, you would up the shield a bit to compensate for the speed increase.
Of course.
It's like the Flash. Because if he didn't have like a shield, he'd just liquidate himself.
Mm-hmm.
It is 3 success and 2 threats.
The shields are there, but again, you upgraded.
They're probably cooled by the
Yeah.
manifold that I removed.
Right. So the instant the shields are taxed beyond like hitting a pebble, they're done for the rest of the race.
Yay.
Your ship heads straight forwards. You crank up power, as much power to the shields as you can, losing some frontline speed, and just see this TIE fighter explode directly in front of you, briefly obscuring your vision as you enter into the tunnel. I'm going to make one last roll before we cut back to this ship combat. Make a average roll and because your vision is obscured, I'm adding 2 more setbacks, and I'd actually planned out rolls for each step of the race.
Cat.
So this is going to be 6 setback dice. 2 purple, 6 blacks.
Oh my god. 1 failure, 1 threat.
You crash through, and as this sight ahead of you is completely blocked, you feel again that same sort of shuddering jerk as when you collided your ship, hit your pod racer. You correct very quickly, but you can tell almost immediately that it took some damage. Your pod racer has 3 hit points. It now has 2.
Yay.
Now back up in the ship, you are all, especially the 2 of you that are force sensitive, intimately aware that Darth Vader is riding you.
Let's try spinning. That's a good trick.
Well,
The sound of jizz fades in the distance as Darth Vader rides you.
I really hope I can live to tell this one on.
Okay, so the question is he trying to get in, or is
Oh,
he
yeah.
just like, you know, he's
Just
stabbing his
randomly
lightsaber in and
stabbing?
he's calling you on?
This is Darth Vader. He's not going to kill you unless he knows you're looking at him.
You just turn away.
Yeah, as there's now cutting a hole in your hull.
Okay.
So I'm gonna spin we're gonna do a barrel roll.
Okay.
Oh god.
Pilot is doing
Spinning's
a
a
barrel
good
roll
trick.
to try and knock Darth
Okay,
Vader off.
question. Does the section of the ship that he's on, could it be in some way like separated from the ship? Like are there screws? Is it like a plate or something?
Is he on the escape pod?
No, they're not designed to with ablative armor. It's all of a piece.
Okay.
Like you could eject the part of it, but then you'd be ejecting half your ship, and hey, suddenly you don't have engines anymore.
Oh, we need
Nah, I
those.
was
One of you
just
has you have a
wondering
lightsaber. You could cut off that part, but
Yeah,
you'd be
exactly.
out
I
of
was
ship.
wondering if. I mean, we already have a hole in it.
It's
So, we already
just
got a
abandon
hole,
it?
so it doesn't really matter.
Maybe we can offer him a smoothie.
Just throw smoothies at him and hope you clog up his electronics.
Let's just give him Steve. That's all he wants.
No. I'm gonna get Steve and myself, and I
Throw
feel
Steve
at this
at him.
point. Yeah, that was my idea. I was either gonna throw Steve at him, that's plan B, or because I'm drunk enough, I was gonna offer him a smoothie.
Hi, Darth Vader. Would you like a smoothie?
It's more of a margarita.
Mark. Here's a marg.
Hey, maybe you're force sensitive since you ate the worm.
Yeah. That's something we dropped.
Like the
worm is
You're
force
suddenly
sensitive and
so
it's
much
acting
better.
through you.
Yeah.
It's piloting you like Ratatouille. The worm's not drunk.
And it knows Darth Vader, and it wants revenge.
So I'm going to assume August's character is, it sounds like you want to be in the room that Darth Vader's about to cut into.
Well, we are about to do a barrel roll, so we are going to be upside down. So I would like to, and hopefully it's gonna work. Like, use my lightsaber to kind of cut part of the ship as we do this. So like, I'm gonna make sure that when we go like upside down, I'm gonna like land on the ceiling and like cut the bit where Darth Vader is standing. Also keep us off.
Whoever is flying, I'd like you to make an average piloting check, and this is since it's a spacecraft, it's piloting space.
Mm-hmm. So I have 2 success and 2 advantage.
All right, and because of that, I'm going to need everyone to make a hard athletics check or acrobatics check to stay, basically to not let yourself get hurt while you're doing this barrel roll, because hey, like gravity is still down in a spaceship, but it doesn't do that much against inertia.
Is there an acrobatics check in this system? I see athletics.
I think it's athletics.
It should be. No, it's coordination. Sorry.
Oh, coordination. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the purple?
3 purple. And because he got successes and advantages, I'm not going to have you add any setbacks to it. As I roll for Darth Vader's, who will have a setback to stay on top. Or at least to stay on his feet and keep cutting.
1 threat.
You got 1 success.
2 successes and an advantage. I wish I rolled this well, like everywhere else.
Darth Vader got 3 threats.
You don't. It doesn't matter. Whee!
Yeah. You were already spinning. Yeah.
Everything suddenly looks right.
Darth Vader's was a wash with 3 threats. So I'm going to say he doesn't fail, so he stays on, but he definitely stops cutting. You see as your character sees as as gravity sort of gets away from you for a second there, the red lightsaber cutting through the hull pulls back, and you think for a second that he's gone, and then you see a black gauntleted hand grab on to the hole that he already made. The molten metal starting to sizzle away the badass black leather.
Hey, GM.
Yeah,
I got 5 failures and 1 threat.
Oh god.
So I don't know what that means, but it doesn't look good.
I'm gonna say you take, because you're literally just like launched out of your seat, smacked against the wall. I'm gonna say you are taking let's say 3 points of damage, so take that off your wound total.
Fantastic.
And I'm gonna need you to roll a D100.
A D100, huh? All right.
If you'd like, I can roll it for you. I have that ready.
Yeah, my dice are all the way over there. Would you do that for me?
Absolutely. And this is no one got into any combat, so I'm not adding any threats on top of this, but that was a 17. So you are taking a critical injury.
Ooh.
In this case, the impact knocked you back and rattled your head. You cannot take an action the next round.
Okay.
Which includes, you can't even strap yourself back into your seat.
Fantastic.
And in the future, one interesting thing about this system is there is this critical roll table that goes up to 100. That goes up to 150. The idea is that each time you take a critical hit, they accumulate unless you can deal with the underlying cause. So until you spend like a week in the hospital, you are always going to add 10 to the critical hit roll. If you roll higher than 150, you just die.
Oh.
Well, I think I'm going to die anyways, because Darth Vader's on my ship. So I don't think I'm getting out of this one.
This transitions out, and the gauntleted hand grips in as it briefly, because George Lucas is weird, it transitions from this like gripping hand terrifying scene to like a brief moment of physical comedy as you just like spin around and like fall on your ass, and then it comes back to Darth Vader like gauntleted hand sizzling under the grip.
Can I try to cut off his hands?
First I'm gonna need you to make a fear check.
Oh, actually, I think I have an ability. Confidence. Decrease difficulty of discipline checks to avoid fear by 1.
Well, this is going to be 3 reds, so that makes it 2 reds and a purple.
2 reds and a purple, okay.
As a discipline check.
2 reds, and let's see. My discipline, from what I recall, is 4. Yes. Oh, let's see how that goes. 1 failure. Yeah.
You are frightened. That's going to impact your ability to fight and to use the Force to combat Darth Vader. You are ostensibly a light side Force user, or at least trained to use the light side of the Force. Fear is not really conducive to that. Apparently it leads to anger, which can lead to hate.
Give in.
Which can lead to episode 2.
Basically.
Where's everybody else going to do as your character sees this hand reach in and it starts to the advanced servo motors inside of Darth Vader's cyborg body? You see it pulling back the hull of the ship, like peeling it, like pulling off the lid of a tin can.
Something funny with the rudders. What's going on back there, guys?
Harder
to fly.
Yeah. Can I sorry. Can I take Steve and actually go offer Darth Vader a smoothie?
Oh, you absolutely can.
All right, let's go, Steve.
As the reports of Darth Vader arriving build and build and build, you decide to take decisive and quick action. You grab this extremely belligerent Jawa who does not want to come with you. I'm going to need you to make an athletics check to force this Jawa to go.
Okay, yeah.
It is going to be average. Or actually, it's going to be easy because it's a Jawa. He's very small.
Okay.
But with 2 setbacks because he does not want to help.
Okay.
So 1 purple, 2 blacks.
1 purple, 2 black. 1 advantage.
So, no, you do not manage to take Steve with you. However, you don't drag Steve behind you. However, you basically manage to convince him that the best place to hide is in the room that you realize Darth Vader's in. So he starts running forwards, and you got to carry these smoothies on your own.
Okay. I can't wait.
You all. Who else is anybody else who's hiding? Who's staying on the guns? Because there are still those TIE fighters out there who may try to they probably won't shoot at you while Darth Vader's on the ship. But
trying to make sure the dude that was manning the guns isn't dead currently.
Yeah, I've turned into Marv after Kevin McAllister dropped a brick on his head. Yeah.
So my character's kind of like going over to check that.
You see like cartoon birds kind of spiraling around him. Again, another weird comedy moment just slid in the middle. Yeah, he's dazed but not dead. You can tell that much pretty well right off.
Kind of like smack him and make him get up or something.
You can smack him for whatever reason you want.
Don't I have a concussion? Wait, don't smack me.
Well, don't they cancel out? If you get a second concussion, doesn't just cancel out the first concussion? Side. Yeah, you just kind of straighten it up, and then you're just ready to go.
Not genuine medical advice.
No. We don't have a doctor on the ship, sadly, so that's why.
You managed to get him up and about as the camera cuts back to Darth Vader as he lands in the middle of the kitchen. The central lights ascend, and Darth Vader is, as he stands there, breathing heavily, his lightsaber glowing, surrounded by the colors of 15 different kinds of neon lights.
What song is playing on the
bathe in a rainbow glow, while I Need a Hero is playing.
My character's favorite song.
But no, because it can't be something that we will get a takedown notice for. Someone come up with a public domain version of a popular song by a space version of the band. I don't know, like the Space Cranberries.
Can it be Turn Around and Look at Me?
It could be Turn Around, Bright Eyes.
Turn Around and Look at Me.
Turn around, space guy. So a public domain version of a popular song starts playing in the foreground as you all swear to God hear a John Williams march playing behind him as Vader looks around, sees a elderly Syrian and a very drunk Zeltron arrive ahead of him. The lights seem to, and Steve, a very scared Jawa, who sees him and immediately turns and runs around. His hand reaches up and there's a crushing motion as all of the neon lights start to pop and you're left in darkness with Darth Vader, the red light of his lightsaber igniting the whole area. As we cut back to the pod race down below.
I feel so much better now, actually.
The lights blacking out and the red of the lightsaber transitions to a blinking red warning light from impact taken inside the pod as you are driving through this jungle tunnel. You know that up ahead there is a gap that you might be able to evacuate into, and the current plan is to pick you up either behind the finish line or outside of the gap. I'm going to leave it up to you guys what the specifics of how you arranged it is going to be.
Pretty sure we still want the prize money.
Yeah, so. I think it was the
Of course, that's what they came here for.
Okay, so the plan is to meet up at the finish line.
It's Crazy Ivan at the finish line, and out the window grabs the prize money. And
yeah, think about this: if I actually win during this, how much notoriety we're gonna get?
Well, you're winning under a false name.
I
know. You are traveling through the jungle chute as you eject out the other side of this twisting mass of vines and roots. It empties out into, you see it gradually sort of transition into something like a mangrove swamp. The various gases bubble and burst around you as you're racing through. This is going to be hard with one setback in addition to your handling. So that is going to be 3 purple and 4 black. Unless you're slowing down, in which case it's 3 black.
No, 1 failure, 1 threat.
You speed forwards, and as you do, you almost fail to see that a burst of gas starts bubbling up underneath your ship. At the same time, a TIE fighter travels over you, and now it has a clear line of sight. The blast misses hitting you directly and instead ignites this bundle of gas underneath you, and your pod racer is lifted up into the air by this concussive explosion.
Oh, there he is.
I said that your ship had 3 hit points.
Yeah, not anymore.
Now it has 1.
Yay.
You are also, in order to compensate for the landing, taxed the system's ability to handle anything even further than it did before.
How high do I go?
You are up. I mean, it's the pod racers are rated for like 40 feet. You're not supposed to go, like, rules are you can't go that high. You've got to stay pretty close to the ground, but you go at least like 30-40 feet up. You're a couple stories.
Nice.
Yeah.
How high is the TIE fighter, and how close am I to it? Now
You're
that I'm in
probably
the air?
pretty damn close. You could conceivably throw a grenade at the TIE fighter. As we bring back that other element from earlier in the story.
Do it.
Did the cinnamon ones?
Yes, it is the grenades that smell like cinnamon when they explode.
Oh,
For a swamp.
well, do I do something stupid or do I wait for my crewmates?
This
That's
is
the question.
another half hour. This is do something stupid time.
Okay, I am going to jump for the TIE fighter because I can dismount as an incidental from my vehicle.
That is a choice. All right.
Who wants to fall 40 feet? That's
This
like
is going to be
4 times over.
daunting. But I will say just because it is a bold choice. No, it's daunting. It's still daunting. This is going to be an athletics check with 4 purple dice.
Right.
You are also though a bird.
Yes, I am. I feel like home.
Like you can't fly, but you can glide very effectively. So I'm gonna say add 3 boost dice. So 4 purple, 3 blue.
This could be bad.
Or the
2
greatest thing
advantages,
ever.
3 failures.
You leap from your pod racer as it crashes down into the jungle below you without anyone to control it. It almost immediately heads for a big tree and explodes. You see the shattered wreck of this thing you used to pilot careening down below you as you leap for this screaming fast TIE fighter trying to, I don't know, grab on and catch hold.
Yep.
You fail. You utterly fail to do that. However, you were in first place at the time, and as you glide down, and I'm going to have this be your advantage because we might as well go bonkers with this. As you glide down, you land inside the cockpit of the second place pod racer.
Nice.
The whale or the greasy stick man?
The greasy stick man.
Yeah.
Oh,
And you know what? I'm going to say he sounds like Alan Rickman because he sounds like Nick Cage.
Oh God.
Because Greasy Stickman and Nick Cage
Hey.
seem like they go really well together.
I hate it, but it's true.
What are you doing? Why are you in my pod racer? Get out. I'm here to win this pod race and escape the Empire. And then I'm going to find the Declaration of Imperial Independence. The one the Separatists sent when they declared the Clone Wars. It's a clue.
So I take my handful of grenades and I just toss one in the middle of the pot and I said, "It's time to get out." I don't turn it on though.
Oh my God, you're crazy. We'll both die.
I just flew down from up there. I'll be fine.
Make a cool check. This is gonna be hard, but this whole thing is so damn crazy. I'm gonna say hard check, 2 blacks, 3 blues.
2 blacks.
So 3 purple, 2 blacks, 3 blues on top of your normal roll.
Which I'm not really good at, but it comes out to 1 success and 1 threat. Of course, he hates me.
Yeah. This stick cage
Stickless cage.
sees you make a motion
whole name.
to activate the bomb, and you get ready to leap out yourself. He's like, "Oh my God." And he leaps out. You can see him kind of rolling around in the dirt. He manages to survive, and you see him as he realizes that he's been deceived, shaking his stick fist at you. "I'll hunt you to the ends of the earth. I'll be the
Earnhardt.
spirit of vengeance." I mean, the space Earth. "I'll hunt you to the ends of the galaxy. I'll be the spirit of vengeance that will always try to seek you out. I will be your ghost rider."
Oh God. I toss a live grenade back there.
Yeah, make a
I don't care if I hit him.
yeah, you might though make a ranged light check.
Ranged light. Wow, I'm actually pretty good at that. Any difficulties or anything added to it?
Hard.
Hard. Got it.
Hard, and I'd say you're going very fast, so add two blacks.
Let's see how bad this is. 4 failures and 2 threats.
No, and now the spirit of vengeance truly will come with you as the camera, as you zoom away, zooms in on Nicolas Cage. Stickless Cage. And you see his eyes gradually change color from this sort of greasy black to Sith yellow and red. And you know what, I'm gonna go off the Clone Wars again. A spirit of dark side vengeance rises within Stickless Cage. If this ever happens again, you will have. I'm just gonna like make the Ghost Rider as an NPC, and they are hunting you now. Nicolas Cage as Stickless Cage in Ghost Rider in Star Wars, episode 14, coming to Disney Plus, and then going
it's Marvel
off
property.
Disney Plus. Yeah, and yeah, this is the pure integration that I think they were going for. I always knew that Marvel Disney was going to bring back Nicolas Cage as the Ghost Rider, and this is their opportunity.
Nicolas
We've done all the hard
Cage
work, guys.
as Groot as Ghost Rider.
Yeah, Stickless Cage is going to come at you, and he's going to set you on fire. As you steal his ship and as you steal his pod racer and drive off towards the finish line. Now there's going to be the interesting complication. Will they know to pick you up in that pod racer?
We still have comms, right?
Did you drop your comm while you were...
I don't know. Did he drop his comm?
I'm gonna say you have it, but any threats will be related to your comm being damaged in this. And so we cut back to the ship's interior. The flames in Stickless Cage's eyes cutting to the red glow of Darth Vader's lightsaber. What are y'all gonna do?
Well,
I have a plan.
Besides poop yourselves.
Well, I swore I was going to offer him a smoothie.
Yeah, you offer him a smoothie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We still got all those movies, by the way. Do we still got all those movies? Just
Well,
like
we
all the
have our
unsold
stuff.
smoothies.
We better have our smoothies.
Yeah, all the
And I got all
unsold
that
smoothies are
tequila
still there,
too.
yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
this is my plan because there were like, okay, first of all, there were lights all over the place, right? So there are like wires.
No. Oh, ooh.
So
Yeah.
I want to basically pretend like I'm going to fight him, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like I move my lightsaber to like cut a wire so it like lays on the ground, right? And then I'm gonna try to force throw all these movies at him so there's like liquid, right? And that conducts electricity.
Okay.
So I want to like bait him into stepping onto
And-
the wire so like.
And we know the Emperor didn't ground his suit.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to make to use the Force. There is a lightsaber check, and I believe I gave you stats on that.
I have a lightsaber in my weapons.
Yeah, I know. I'm double checking if I gave you a lights. Yes, you have 2 yellows for a lightsaber check. First, I'm gonna need you to do a lightsaber check just to slash and make all that happen and set that up.
Relian's doing this all wrong.
Okay.
So this is gonna be average lightsaber
Smoothies.
check.
Okay, and my let's see. How many die do I put into a lightsaber? 2 yellow,
2
yeah?
yellows.
2 yellows.
Yeah, just check your
okay.
sheet.
So 2 purples, 2 yellows, nothing else. I am afraid right now.
2 purples, 2 yellows. Yep. And a black because you're afraid.
Yeah. Okay.
Most Home Alone self.
That.
Ship
Oh
defense
my
I've
god. 1 failure, 3 threats.
As you start slashing, Darth Vader recognizes your use of the Force. You're one of the people that has to this point escaped the purge of as the Sith have taken over the galaxy. As you start slashing and just creating a lot of debris and smoothies, Vader's hand lifts up, and this is because of all your threats that I'm having this happen. His hand lifts up,
I'm gonna die.
and all the debris and shattered glass and gas and smoothie cups lift in the air and all come colliding towards you like you're a black hole.
What a way to go!
I'm gonna need you to make a daunting coordination check, and because it's Darth Vader, that's going to be 3 reds and a purple.
Oh.
3 reds and a purple.
Yep.
And it's coordination?
It's coordination.
Okay. Coordination, just checking. Okay, 2 yellows.
I was this close to having a TIE fighter. This close.
2 failures, 1 threat. I think I'm pretty dead.
You're taking 2 damage from all of these things crashing into you. So cut that against your wounds. And you're now Vader's target.
Stay on target.
As the
You're saying we've opened
I
the
guess
door.
I'm at the very least, moving his attention away from the. Okay, I can't say innocent, but
the bystanders.
the other forces team on the ship. Oh, and bystanders. Yeah, yeah.
And Steve.
And
Steve, he's there too.
I forget him.
Yep.
He might be the only one who's actually innocent.
No, way.
I'm sure he's just another escaped Jedi.
Question,
Someone who survived.
I got 2 damage, but my soak is 2.
I would say that because it's Darth Vader, this is ignoring soak.
Okay.
Is anybody else making a move? What's the plan here?
I'm gonna try and. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you can go ahead.
Well, because I've been waiting for this moment.
Okay.
I'm going to try and charm Darth Vader into accepting my smoothie and sparing my life.
Okay. He breathes through a breath mask,
This
so
is the
your
climax.
pheromones are useless.
Okay. Pheromones are gone, but empathy and distracting behavior, would those still count?
I would say this is going to be another daunting charm check.
Okay.
And again, this is Vader. Really, the only way you're going to have any chance of succeeding is by betraying your friends here. Or at least offering to.
Do it.
I kind of like my friends, though. That's the problem.
Do it.
But do you like living more?
Yeah,
Stole
this
us
is
so much
like
alcohol, dude.
Vader's here to kill all of you. The only way that you're going to be able to charm him into sparing you is by helping him to kill everyone else.
On the ship.
Well,
I'm not on the
I'm
ship.
about
That's
it.
fine.
I guess I kind of have to at this point. There's no real way to just push him off. I can't exactly do that now.
I need my mechanic in an escape pod. We can get away.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Let's. What the hell not? I'm gonna try and betray these people working with me to save my own hide. That seems exactly like what my character would do.
What are you going to do to show that you are willing to turn traitor to aid Darth Vader?
Kill Steve.
No! Steve! Anyone but Steve!
Anyone but Steve? I don't want to go.
Just cold.
Just feel it.
Vader doesn't know Steve isn't one of ours.
That is true.
That's a good point.
I
The
guess.
perfect crime.
It would be the perfect crime.
Sure. I guess I could try and use my hold-up blaster to shoot Steve in the back. And then say something like, "All hail the Empire."
Make a ranged light attack.
Are we rated R yet?
No.
We haven't said I was about to. I was just about to say it. Because we only said the F word once, and if we say it twice, then we're have to be rated R. I did say jizz a lot, but that's in reference to a musical genre, and not to whatever else that word might mean.
On a fine line.
That is going to be an average check with 2 blues because you're catching him by surprise.
Okay, well, let's see if this will work. 2 successes and 4 advantages.
Yeah, you immediately, like, as you see Darth Vader, you basically, like, please forgive me, Lord Vader, and you spin around and you shoot the Jawa, and it's like, I'm on to, please don't kill me, I'm on your side. And Steve is dead. Steve is never coming back.
I have to steal another Steve now?
Yes, if you want a new Jawa,
Steal another
Jawa
Steve.
juice. You want a new Jawa for
That
Jawa
was
juice.
hard.
I can picture this now. Excuse me, you're Steve now.
You're gonna have to go to Tatooine, snatch another Jawa, and just put him in a bag. Put him in your Jawa
I'm
sack.
sure we just follow the space Twitter of whatever the taco truck's name was.
Yeah.
We just keep picking off one person from that truck every time.
Space Twitter's mascot's a Minoc.
Oh my
Okay.
God. Okay.
Make a charm check, please. That is going to be, I will say 2 reds and 2 purples.
Okay.
You downgraded it because you offered your friend as a sacrifice.
Okay. Can I suffer strain to downgrade 2 of those? With what is that? 1 strain to downgrade the difficulty of a charm negotiation check. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say yes. That is going. So that will be 3 purples and 1 red.
Okay. And I don't have. I can use empathy, but I can't use pheromones, so it doesn't work anyway. I have 1 success and 1 advantage.
Darth Vader looks at you, the light of his lightsaber illuminating your face. His hand rises, and you feel the force press against you and force you out of the room as the door shuts ahead of you. You don't know if that means it worked or not, but you're not in the room where the fight's happening right now.
Okay. Well.
Oh no, our Jedi's all by herself.
Oh,
I
think they're.
All right. The 2 force sensitives are there against Vader right now.
Yeah. Well, I got a vibro hatchet, I got a vibro knife, I got a vibro sword, and I got a light blaster pistol. I guess I'll get out the sword one.
You ready your vibro sword.
You're standing there looking at your different assortment of weapons.
No, this is the one.
Let's fight with this one.
Make a melee check. This is going to be it's upgraded, so this is going to be melee checks are always average. This is having 3, so this is going to be 2 reds and 2 purple.
Okay. Red, 2 purple. 2 advantages, 1 failure.
Okay. You leap forwards and try to swing at Darth Vader. There is no you don't even manage to hit him. I will say that though your sudden movement will give 2 boost dice to Aga's next roll to attack.
Yay.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah, so I guess you're going at it.
Okay. So
Okay,
you're going
let's
at it
see.
with Vader.
He's the one who started riding us.
Let's see. I don't have a plan right now, other than maybe try to start him until I think about something else.
With your lightsaber.
Yeah, he's still focused on me, or
He's a little distracted by this. That's why you're getting the 2 blues. But
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
you're a Jedi that escaped the purge. You're still his target.
okay. Sure. Let's try attacking him. Hopefully, the situation will change in a very short time somehow. Let's see, how many blues die do I get?
You are getting 2 blues on top of this, and it is going to be. Are you just straight up attacking?
I think I'm gonna try to like circle him, and so me and my ally are on opposite sides of him. So it's gonna make things a little bit harder for him, hopefully.
All right.
I mean,
Yeah, I'll say that's worth another blue. So
okay.
I would say a lightsaber check is 2 reds, 2 purples, and now you've got 3 blues.
3 blues and my lightsaber.
And I need to do something extremely unprofessional because I hear someone knocking at my door, and I need to tell them to go away. So
Okay.
if you
Hopefully
give
it's not
me
Darth Vader.
2 minutes, I will tell Darth Vader to go away. I'm just gonna cut my audio. I will be literally right back as soon as I can. Sorry, I feel awful about this.
So if he's on for a certain, so if he's on for how long are we gonna take over the stream, right?
Yeah. Start the timer.
Okay.
Well,
Guys, question: if we manage to scare him and then, like, light speed away somewhere in the middle of nowhere, and then blow the ship to kill Vader this way, like, would he survive blowing up the ship in
You're currently in a fight. I can't imagine that you can't kill Vader, other than the dice have to agree.
I don't think we're gonna
it's
have
Darth
that
Vader.
chance.
Darth Vader is a force of nature. It's like trying to say, I killed the hurricane. You can't.
Well,
we're gonna die.
He's got a limited number of hit points.
I'm not gonna try to find out how many he has.
Right. do we have we have like stuff we can run away on, right? Like escape capsules, something.
So the ship's got an escape pod, but the ship also has a shuttle, but only fits like 3 people total.
And you did just witness me murder a Jawa and swear my allegiance to the Empire, so.
Yeah, we're definitely
You're just
not
making for
taking
the
that
shuttle
one.
and you're leaving without us. That's what's going on, huh?
It's okay, I'll take the ship.
It does have a hyperdrive, so the shuttle can get away.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's gonna work.
Yeah, I think I'm
Let's not forget we
gonna
also have to make it
stab
past-
him and die for you while you escape.
I hate to say it, leave me behind, but that's it.
We want to try and save you, though.
I understand that, but
And we also want to get the money.
yeah. Well, I'll get the money.
Right. You have the money, so we need to get to you.
Well,
now we've got the drugs and the money. That was my landlord reminding me that they're going to be working on on our pipes tomorrow, on the building's pipes tomorrow.
Wonderful.
Weird time to do it, but I guess he's about to leave. So what
Okay, so my result is 4 advantages and 5 failures.
4 advantages and 5 failures?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So no, you completely miss Vader. Does anybody have any suggestions for how those advantages can pan out? Because I do have a little section for how advantages can pan out in combat, and that's a lot of them. Like, you didn't succeed to do a critical hit.
Vader dies.
Well, there are a lot of flyers
has a heart
hanging
attack.
everywhere.
You could, like, the examples they give are you could negate an enemy's defensive bonus. You could ignore any sort of environmental effects. You could have a piece of gear be disabled. Like, maybe you didn't hit Vader, but you might have, like, impacted his respirator equipment. So now it's
That would be probably good.
you could give yourself or one of your allies a boost to their defense or a boost to their next attacks. Or you could set some aspect of the scene together. You're in your kitchen, so this could just as easily be you could add some element to the kitchen that could give you an advantage in the rest of the fight.
A droidica.
Do we have
it's a tropical theme, and we covered the floor with sand.
Wait, don't you have cinnamon?
Dude, you guys, we've established that
cinnamon
everybody has a
breather?
mess of
I
cinnamon.
still have cinnamon in my pocket for sure.
Question,
But it's also
what do we
like
cook on? Like
Got
gas?
cinnamon.
Could we make a gas explosion in this room?
that's my
I
kitchen.
mean, you're in the room, but yeah.
Not the
we
smoothie
can explode.
machine.
No, that's right. I put all
It's
the
the
tequila.
smoothie machine of your life. Damn it.
The Death Star's gonna have a nice smoothie machine after this.
We did basically say the Death Star should have a spa.
Right in
I mean,
the
it has
Emperor's
enough room
Lounge.
that it should have squash courts.
Well, they get those things. We get the juice.
Yeah, you get a juice. You get a magic bullet juicerator. All right, so is there an element to the scene you want to set, or do you want to give like boosts to later attacks?
So, yeah, as I was saying, could we be cooking on gas? So if it starts leaking, if we cut it, we could make an explosion to like fuck over the suits or something.
Now we're rated
Your
R.
spaceship.
Now we're rated R.
What's
Yeah.
the language?
Starts with the gas range in the kitchen.
So
Yeah, I
basically,
mean-
it's gonna blow up the ship.
Yeah, that's kind of what the plan is, but I've heard worse.
I mean,
Yeah, no,
I mean,
you could
I was-
absolutely
there
I
are
have
no
was
gas.
bad
thinking
ideas when
that-
getting rid of Vader.
We are pretty screwed. So while people escape, we could start later by blowing
That's where
up
like
the room
that's where I
for 3
put all
minutes.
of my alcohol. You just gotta.
Yeah,
it's
because we
gonna
just
be a
got
Which
big
would
that.
also
explosion.
explode. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
That's for
are you
drinking.
using the lightsaber to cut the gas range?
Would you like some fireball? Like
I
literally.
was thinking that the advantages were like we actually cut it during the fight.
Okay.
Because like
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
lightsabers
Yeah.
swinging around. So
A lightsaber would probably ignite the gas just in advance.
oh.
But there is a vibro knife.
Yeah, she's got a vibro knife. There,
Oh, yeah.
that could have been part of it. Yeah, during the crazy fight, the knife swings forward, and you realize after a few seconds of this exchange that the smell of gas is strengthening. And I would say that one of your advantages is that because Darth Vader breathes through an air filter, he does not notice the smell of gas. His systems would probably register that this is in the atmosphere, but he wouldn't go like,
Yeah, is
is
he even
that
paying
gas?
attention to that?
Yeah, he wouldn't notice anything abnormal that in the way you would notice.
He has no sense of smell.
So like,
You got clogged up with sand.
I glanced briefly at
Because
my
I mean,
companion.
it gets everywhere.
I glanced briefly at my companion, going like, "Oh,
You're gonna do an Obi-Wan?
my plan is to stall him long enough that people get to the shuttle, and then
You haven't. Yeah, that was one of the things. As I was setting this up, coming up with the character sheets and the sheet for the ship, you guys are basically in the Firefly. So yeah, there's a shuttle you could all get into. It's the size of like, I'd say like a Winnebago, or like a just one of those unmarked vans. If you can all get in there,
Unmarked
you
van
could
down by the
conceivably
river.
all fit in there.
Well, it does say
but you
one
def-
pilot, 2
Question.
passengers.
how high? are we
I mean,
flying here?
it's a squeeze, but you could all fit in there.
Question: how high are we flying? Are there other ships around, stuff like that?
There are definitely other ships around. You
okay,
are.
so my plan
because-
is my guys run away, right,
Mhm.
to the shuttle and stuff, and then I blow Vader up while trying not to get cut up in this
Mhm.
explosion, and then I either get to the shuttle or I jump out if the ship starts going down, and pray that the force is going to guide me into not dying.
Are you saying on the comms, like just telling everybody to get to the shuttle, or are you just like shouting it to your companion and letting them run? To the fugitive, as I wrote on her character sheet.
Get to the shuttle.
Get to the shuttle.
Get
What do you
everybody to
do?
the shuttle!
Hurry up, go.
No.
So my character hears this too, right?
Yeah, yours is probably here. It's muffled because
could-
you're in the next room.
Yeah, I could probably do both. I mean, like, get to the shuttle! Yeah.
Can I? Could I try and run ahead and get to the shuttle and launch it before anyone else can?
You absolutely can try that.
I think it is more like technically your shuttle anyway, because there's an upgrade that's better for charming and that kind of stuff in there.
Well,
there is for
Since
both.
you're the ambassador.
The whole ship, both ships have it.
What does that upgrade for charming entail?
Basically anybody on board, if you're making a social check and it's your ship, that you've got the amenities.
What is it,
upgrade.
a waterbed?
And the neon lights.
No, it's a disco ball. It's a disco ball.
Yeah.
And soft 70s music.
Yeah. That's nice.
Soft 70s
jazz.
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry, internet.
All right, so you head to the. We're already rated R, but I'm not going to say it again. You head to the F Mobile, and you're trying to beat everybody. Is this it, Nicole? Did you send out a comm message to tell everybody to get to the shuttle?
I guess. I mean, especially after I see, the Jedi dude try to mess him up and then miss, and I'm like, okay, I'll get him in the knees or something, and then I miss, and then yeah, I don't know. Yep. Let's all get out of here.
All right, you're telling everybody to make a
on a Java.
Yep. You're telling everybody to make a run for it.
I don't have any reasons left to be here, man.
Well, she's a chiss. She's a sexy blue human. Everybody but you is basically some variant of you, or you two.
I'm a sexy bat.
Yeah, you're a bat. You're a bird. Everybody else is some different hue of human.
Hey, GM. I feel like I have a major concussion.
I mean, you definitely
roll something to try to get to the shuttle. Did I even hear that? I feel like I'm just white noise.
Well, the way it comes out is concussion is absolutely one of the results, but you with a 17, the result was dazed or dizzy. It specifically the wording was 17 distracted. And I thought a mild concussion was the best way to explain that. So I would say you are not having that same difficulty. You've shaken it off. It may not be a concussion. It's probably just more your head wrong.
I can make it to the shuttle without running into Vader.
I didn't say that.
That's what I wanted to say.
He's in the kitchen, but there's probably at least one other route to the shuttle.
What's the quickest route to the shuttle?
Through the kitchen.
Yeah.
That's GM.
It's
the quickest route between.
That's where I'm going.
Wherever anybody is in the ship and the shuttle is definitely through the kitchen.
Okay, that's where I'm going then.
Unless the mechanic probably knows all the twists and tubes to all the access ports and all the so they could probably bypass around. But yeah, through the kitchen's probably the fastest route.
All right, that's where I'm going.
Okay. You're going to take a few pot shots at him while you're running through?
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Hit him with the wrench.
The big friggin' wrench. The big Griffin wrench.
Hit him with the big Griffin wrench.
Yeah, as you're running through, you open the door, because I guess no one said specifically what room Vader was in, just he's on the ship. So you are running, and you manage to inadvertently run through the same room where Darth Vader is standing.
I don't want to get involved. I want to run around him.
Okay. That is going to be, I'd say, an athletics check to just avoid him as thoroughly as possible. And it is Vader. Upon seeing him, you are also going to need to make a fear check.
All right.
So that is going to be discipline.
Yes.
Either discipline or cool, depending on which you think is more appropriate for your character.
Discipline.
Okay. And that is going to be 3 red against your discipline check.
Okay.
To avoid fear.
That is 1 advantage, 1 failure, 1 despair.
Okay, a despair is basically the bad version of a triumph.
Yeah, didn't sound
There
good.
is going to be some big disaster. And I think what it's going to be is as you are running through, you see Darth Vader and you kind of step back. And as you step backwards, it's finally too much wind shearing on your ship's hull, and the hole that was up above as you were moving very quickly is now expanded, and there's just a massive amount of suction trying to like zap you out of the ship and knock everybody off balance. Vader is fine. He's wearing essentially 300 pounds of plate armor.
Naturally.
But the two of you are going to have a very hard time not being sucked out into upper atmosphere.
Oh no, if it's sucking out the air, it's sucking out the gas too, so...
Right? Conceivably, yes. Although there is a decent flow, so you could probably get more like a flamethrower effect than an explosion.
I have a flamethrower.
Yeah. It helps that
Where's that Alderaanian flamethrower?
Yeah.
We need it.
Tyler, you do have at least one more grenade. I know I gave your character grenades.
They weren't on my sheet.
Oh, then I must have given them to.
I have the grenades.
I gave
I gave all my grenades to the pilot. So...
Yeah. All right. And you're straight up out of grenades.
I've got field rations and climbing gear.
Great. Remind him that he can't eat any food.
I'm just gonna throw some jerky at him. Can I try to secure myself with some I don't know climbing gear? That's all I have.
Yeah, you could try.
Is this all happening too fast? Am I about to be sucked
no,
out?
I'd say like I just to simplify things, you could probably do like a quick knot around you and fasten yourself down pretty quickly.
Okay, yeah, that's what I want to do.
Yeah, tying yourself in the room with Darth Vader.
What's the check going to be for that one?
That is going to be, I'd say, average, but the conditions are kind of nuts. So 4 setbacks.
Okay, and then what's the skill I'm using for that?
I would say survival.
Okay.
Clog Vader's respirator with crackers.
Yeah.
That is.
The cinnamon was 4.
3 failures and 2 threats.
As you try to loop on, you don't manage to tie yourself down. Instead, your body shifts position, and you essentially, I'm going to say, as you are lifted up off your feet briefly, manage to come back down and realize you have accidentally tied yourself to the table. Like it's just looped around your foot in such a way that you are, if anything comes at you, you're gonna be at an extreme disadvantage.
Oh boy. Okay.
And now I'm just gonna say it's time for Darth Vader to take some action. There is an escaped Jedi right there. He is going to attack you.
I'm gonna die.
Because like I kind of like the idea that like the force choke is only really effective against people that do not have force powers. Because it's like, you know, you're able to sort of innately resist. So he's going to make a lightsaber check against you. And just for context for how things are panning out for this, I do not have enough yellow dye to accurately represent Darth Vader's lightsaber check.
That's a good thing, right?
Well, it means I have 4 yellow dye.
Goodbye.
And this is always melee is always average difficulty. So he is going to roll to hit you, and I will say he's got 2 setbacks because he's exposed to the same conditions as you all.
That's right.
Oh darn, 2 setbacks.
Oh no.
It counts.
So that's canceled. That's canceled. So that is a failure and an advantage on Darth Vader's part to strike you. He swings out, and you manage to block his initial blow with your own lightsaber. The 2 of you trading blasts a couple times, as moving back and forth as your soldier companion in the background is trying furiously to unlasso his own leg from wherever he managed to clog himself up. The camera closes in and zooms closely on this comedic moment it's a moment of levity in the middle of this craziness.
I don't want levity.
And this fight continues in the foreground, the clash of lightsabers crackling against each other, and you realize that he has slowly, and I'm going to say with his one advantage, has slowly been pushing you back towards the gas main.
Oh no.
Okay.
Which brings it back to you two. So we're gonna cut to back to the pod racing down below. You are looking right at the finish line up ahead of you. 2 TIE fighters are closing behind you as you move out of the swamp in effectively stolen pod racer. I'm gonna need you just for your final check. There is a bridge up ahead that was intended to be a final straightaway in this pod race. However, it would seem that in the chaos and confusion, one of the lines was cut, and the bridge is now precariously close to being completely out. You are going to need to make a final daunting piloting planetary check. But since you are in a completely different vessel, you are not rolling with 3 setback dice. You are rolling with 1 setback dice.
Yeah, we sabotaged that one a little bit.
That is going to be 4 purple and a black.
4 purple and a black. Where's my piloting?
Can I
piloting planetary?
I have a assisted in this one too, since I didn't pilot check the last kind of round.
This is one of the ones you'd have sabotaged.
Yay!
Only a little bit. Only 1 setback's worth, right?
Well, it meant they the thing was that it can't take system strain.
Oh, right.
That was the result of the sabotage. Right. It's like if they push it too hard in this race, it'll just crap out.
2 threats.
You crash forwards. I'm going to need you to now make a hard coordination check.
Where's my coordination?
I think someone's dead.
Quite likely, yes.
So 3 purples on your coordination check.
So he's bailing out with the bridge that's out?
The bridge is partially out, and I'm going to describe what happens depending on his coordination check.
1 threat.
Because I would like to catch him in the ship, since we were both heading to the finish line.
All right. Yeah, make a hard piloting check. And since this is the final dramatic moment, I will say, Zynar, upgrade your coordination check once. So change one of your greens to a yellow if you can.
Yay!
And Andrew, upgrade your piloting planetary once. So, and if you both succeed, he will trebuchet upwards and you will catch him.
Okay. You want me to upgrade the difficulty or the proficiency?
Upgrade your proficiency.
Okay.
2 advantages.
So both, yep.
Oh, it's going to be close.
I don't want to be on the ship with Darth Vader.
Well, tough. That's what's happening.
Dang it.
I have 2 advantages as well.
You aren't able. You see his pod racer that he has managed to calm to you, that he has switched into. You see it driving along the bridge, and then you see the front of the bridge start to collapse forwards. As he collides forwards, the repulsor heads down, and his pod racer clutches on and flips forward. He's trebucheting upwards, flying up through the air, and you realize you won't be able to catch him the way you were planning to with a crazy Ivan. Then you also remember that there's a hole on the top of your ship.
Oh no.
Yay! The whole Darth Vader made?
Flip forwards, and you realize, and as a bird, you are able to fly very, very gracefully into this ready open hole, and then all too late, you realize that you are going to be flying in directly into this dark room where there's a slight red and blue glow inside of it, as you crash into the same room as Darth Vader and all this craziness.
Wait, am I beneath the hole?
No, you're off to the side. You said you were trying to go around, and I'm just establishing that Darth Vader was kind of like right in the middle.
Oh, cool.
Question: does he land onto Darth Vader?
Yes.
He had 4 advantage.
You know what? I'm gonna roll this Destiny die. Light side means he crashes into Darth Vader. Dark side means Darth Vader crashes into him.
Yeah, I get impaled by landing. Woo!
You fall on his lightsaber.
Still distraction. Sweet.
You collide directly into Darth Vader, who is essentially a living tank. And he doesn't move, and suddenly neither do you. Vader is fine, but distracted in the next bout of lightsaber fighting, and you are taking 5 points of damage.
Sweet.
All right, and Vader spins. You feel the sensation. You feel as you careen against this dark mass, a force around your larynx as the air is crushed out of you, and then you are invisibly thrown against the far wall by the soldier. Dan, what is your Zeltron up to?
Well, he was booking it for that shuttle, knowing that everyone else is heading there. So he was going to try to get to it first.
It just so happens that it seems like literally everybody else, except for the fugitive, is dealing with Vader.
Where is the fugitive, though?
Heading for the shuttle. So I'm going to say, just for dramatic tension, you both make it at about the same time.
Dun dun dun.
We need to get out of here. There's Vader upstairs. Like, the actual Vader.
I pull out my gun and try to shoot you.
Oh.
For Steve.
Yes.
Not Steve.
I'd say this is definitely a surprise. Make an average ranged light check, because you're shooting point blank. That makes it average. Like if you were just a bit further away, it would be easy. So 2 purple and 2 blues. Do it. Do it.
2 successes, 5 advantages.
Holy crap.
Holy crap. So your weapon, what's its damage?
Damage says 5.
And Dan, what's your soak?
Soak is 2.
So you are essentially ignoring the boost to damage. You are taking 5 points of damage as you're just straight up shot.
You shot me!
Yeah. And then I yeet myself into the shuttle.
Crit.
Yeah, and that's enough advantages. Dan, could you roll a D100?
Oh no.
That is a 99.
Holy shit. All right. For a 99 on the critical injury table, you are crippled. All right. If you had even a single critical injury before this, you would have been maimed, but instead it is impaired until healed or replaced. I'm going to say, as you are shot, the entire left side of your body shuts down.
What?
Hit that right nerve, you know?
Woo! Got you right in a bad nerve.
Got him.
The fate's decided for that one.
Ghost of Steve.
Steve.
Steve!
Never forget.
You are in extreme pain, but you are not dead. If you want to try to fight to take the shuttle, now's the time to do it.
Half of me is basically paralyzed. I don't think this is going to go well for me.
I still had 5 advantages too.
No, the advantages went to the crit.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
The advantages activated the crit. So now he's crippled.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Good.
Good. I'm glad. All right. So now I'm just gonna do a because this is we have 15 minutes left. I am going to do a dramatic wind up just to describe so we can kind of talk, share our thoughts at the end of the session and see what you guys liked, what you didn't like, and give you guys another chance to promote your whatever you want and raise some extra money. The camera shows a dark ending. This is you thought this was going to be the Phantom Menace, and instead this is The Empire Strikes Back. Everything leaves on a dark note. 2 of your crew are warring between themselves over the means of escape that you could have all taken advantage of. The rest are facing down a Lord of the Sith in full rage, in full pain, full of the dark side of the Force. His lightsaber, the only source of light in this room other than the fading glow of the companion that you may not have realized was a Jedi. The camera pans over this, one of you trapped in an attempt to secure yourself against the perils of the environment, one of you dazed and torn against the wall after colliding into the pure solid will of the Force that is Darth Vader. Another of you in the pilot's seat, flying a tomb without realizing it. The camera fades to black. There's an ellipses and the words "to be continued" with a big question mark next to it. And then the story introduces another character in a different planet, and you realize if you come back, it will be as Force Ghosts.
Perfect.
No success, but an interesting session. Definitely an interesting pod race. What did you guys think?
Oh, it was great. Loved it.
It was fun.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Very chaotic.
There's no winning.
So yeah, that was the Edge of the Empire game. We definitely played very fast and loose with a lot of the rules, but kind of stuck within the general concept of the mechanics. So let's go through again one last roll call. Anybody, if they have anything they want to promote, if they have anything they want to share, if they want to, I know Zynar, you have your own Star Wars game coming up tomorrow.
I do.
Because I'm also participating in that. And any other charitable events or anything you want to promote as your own efforts, now's the chance.
I will begin. I will begin. I'm Zynar01 on Twitter. I'm a thread raider. I'm actually hosting this stream. I will have a game tomorrow again for Extra Life, and it's not going to be as dark as this one in any way, shape, or form.
This started very goofy and got very. Oh, I guess you're all dead.
Yeah. But again, it's just any opportunities to help for Extra Life. So please come back on out.
I was not expecting this to be the ending, but this ended up being the ending.
Which is cool. I mean, I wanted to throw all my grenades on the floor at the end. So if we're gonna go out, we're gonna go out with a bang.
Yeah, I mean that can be the to be continued, and then there's the rattling of grenades, the sound of a pin being pulled, and then the sound of an explosion.
You get
as the to
somber
be continued
music
logo.
from looking the fire coming out of the hole at the top of the ship.
And then we don't know who survived, who didn't survive. Yeah. The ship didn't survive.
There's a smoothie machine is making ripples across the galaxy.
I hate you. I hate you.
I mean, I stole the flamethrower. I was intending to use it at some point.
You stole a flamethrower that looked like his daughter.
Wow. You should have used that. You should have monopolized on that.
There's a sudden boost in Empire recruitment with the promise of smoothies.
It turns out that you had the best smoothie recipe in the galaxy, and they started serving them at events.
And now it's just smoothies with oppression.
Yeah, but smoothies.
Yeah.
Yeah. And cookies. I can't complain.
Churros.
Whatever happened to Donald the Trump?
He was arrested on tax evasion.
What happens when you don't pay the criminal tax?
But that's mine. Next.
Actually, when I was working at an art gallery for a while, one of the artists, I was helping with the show, and I overheard them telling a story, and they were talking about someone. And I was like, who are they talking about? And then I heard, oh no, the hair is real. It's like, oh, I know who they're talking about. All right. So next up, why don't we just go in a clockwise circle like the Brady Bunch? Dicey, why don't you?
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to promote or anything like that. This was a lot of fun. I haven't done an Extra Life event before, but I really wanted to. So I saw the opportunity to participate with you guys, and thank you for letting me jump in head first and just into this game. I enjoyed it a lot. We run a YouTube show, Dicey Cantina. It's just more playing just like this, fast and loose with the rules for the story. It's a lot of fun. So you guys can check us out there.
And just to note, while we were playing, we raised just through the Facebook donations I shared, a little shy of $75 for the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia.
Awesome.
Wonderful. That's amazing.
All right. Then we'll keep going. Aga, anything you'd like to share or promote or show off another plant?
You know what? Yeah. Oh. The headphones.
So if we want to talk to her, this is not the
I have
chance.
to put my headphones back on.
Yeah. Now she's
There
hiding.
we go. Look at this.
That is...
Unfortunately, I didn't have a chance to show it off earlier. But this is pepino. Look at this. Raised from seed.
There you go.
Unfortunately, I don't have anything to promote, but I believe Nicole has.
Okay. Well, she is actually second to last as we go clockwise. Tyler, you're next on this Brady Bunch on this wheel of Brady.
Nothing to promote from my end. Thanks for letting me play. This was a blast. I haven't played a RPG in quite a long time, so it was a good change of pace. Just keep donating and supporting Extra Life. It's a really great cause. I know I do the charity events every year, so just keep doing the good work.
All right.
Also, R.I.P. Steve. Well,
okay, Constance. Anything you want to add? Constance. She lost power, and I guess it just never came back on. I hope everything's safe on her end, because I know how much it sucks to have to use candles when it's this dark. Nicole.
Again, I take commissions. You can follow me at Necodoodle1 on Twitter. I also have a Tumblr just at Necodoodle. I still have adoptables for sale. I'm supposing they could probably just keep sitting there up for the rest of this event, right?
Yeah, the donation page is going to be up for at the very least the rest of the day. I can always extend it. And we can leave that donation up, and I can contact you if anybody reaches out to donate.
Okay, yeah. So those are still available if anyone wants one or wants one tomorrow or whenever.
All right, and that brings Dan.
Hey, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in, especially for this. Extra Life is a great program. I love what it does, especially what it can raise. This is my first time being on one, but I was glad to be here. It was a lot of fun. Other than that, I guess just be excellent to each other.
All right, very Bill and Ted closing. If any of you are going to be at PAX Unplugged, I'm at the very least going to be attending. It's right nearby me anyway, so I hope everybody had a good time. And Zyra, we've still got 7 minutes. Do you want us to just stall for time, do a musical number?
Okay, what's the musical number? The Brady Bunch look, right?
Oh yeah, the worm never exploded out of Dan to go, I'm just wild about Harry and Harry's wild about me.
So that's what happened. He was crippled because the worm popped out and took out part of his.
Yep.
You shut
like,
the
you
worm.
can't shoot me.
And then there's a waitress just like at the tequila at the liquor store where you all bought that tequila, and they just look at the bottle and go, "Oh no, they bought the special." All right. Well,
what's next on the this is like all
yeah, but let's talk.
Who's
Let's
after us?
badmouth the next.
Who has to follow this?
Well, the next one is going to be a little more complicated because it's going to be in a prison of some kind. I don't know all the details. So, but it's
ours was in space.
Sounds like an
Yeah.
island prison. But the next one coming up is No Tweet Sean's gonna be running it. It's gonna be a 5e game, and then after that, it's gonna be a zombie survival game.
Is that also in a prison?
It could be. I don't know.
In the prison of your mind.
Survival in a prison sounds like a nightmare.
And that's gonna run until 2:30 in the morning on Eastern. Now, don't forget the clocks are gonna go back at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh snap! That's right.
And then starting at 3, there's gonna be a D&D game that's gonna be just done by puppets. No people. You're only gonna see the puppets on camera.
Oh, that's pretty.
Role playing.
That's
The
pretty
puppets.
For and the puppets were handmade, from to
Ooh.
my knowledge, or pieces of them were handmade. So they're really, really good.
Will they roll dice? Like, do I get to watch a puppet pick up a d20 and then throw it?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
is this like the Muppets, or are the puppets performing the actions,
Yes.
and the
Well-
like the
Oh, that's
voices
so
behind,
cool.
or are
The-
the puppets like standing in for the players?
The puppets are standing in for the players, to my knowledge. Now, it's not my game. I don't know all of the details. I will be surprised too when I see it.
And
I'm just
so will
imagining a
all
bunch
of
of
our.
Muppets all sitting around a table, just like
But I mean,
Well, I
it's-
don't know, Fozzie.
I've seen some of them already, and they look fantastic. It's really kind of amazing the work that people have done for this. So
I mean, it's a good cause. Yeah, that's helping kids that need it. I know how much. I'm sure we can all appreciate how much a distraction and motivation can be helpful, especially at times when you really need it. And I'm glad we were able to help with that.
anything to helping kids that obviously they can't help themselves. So and
I
the
mean,
families
yeah,
can't do a
themselves
whole lot
candy,
either.
I guess.
Extra Life helps
Yeah.
a lot.
And it can be really hard for organizations that are so focused on physical care to be able to spend the time for mental health and some of the things that kids need other than just the basics of survival. And it's good that we're able to provide some of those needed things.
And again, we're not seeing any of this. It's all going to Extra Life. So
Yep.
and those go to the hospitals that we support in our own area. So it's not like we're giving it to some place that's far, far away. It
Yep.
affects our communities directly.
I'm in Philly, hence we're doing CHOP, and each stream is going to be raising for a different hospital. So that's exactly what he just said. I'm not sure why I just reiterated his point, but do you have anything else you'd like to say that I can repeat in slightly different wording?
Let's see. No, not today. But everyone, please stick around, hang out, spend more time chatting with everybody in the community.
We'll be able to idly chat for at least another 2 minutes to fill time. And
well, I was gonna say, since we didn't actually get a break, some people may actually want to get up and use the bathroom.
Yeah.
A lot of us have been drinking.
I've been drinking just way too much coffee.
I had to get up earlier because I guess someone rolled a threat and it destroyed the structural integrity of my daughter's diaper. So
Oh.
I got to take a break.
Yeah.
But,
That is, I mean, that I should have had everybody have that be a consequence for failing your fear check when Vader showed up. But
You know what? It wasn't that he couldn't smell the pheromones. It was just because you had obviously went in your pants and the pheromones mixed
and that
up with
overwhelmed
that
the
now.
pheromones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sent out a different
that's an
kind
entirely
of pheromone
different set of pheromones.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a pheromone.
That's pheromone.
Pheromone.
Now
We
the-
missed all your Chad Refine bat puns.
I got so distracted and wrapped in the story, I stopped making bad jokes.
It was kind of loud. Maybe you couldn't echolocate them.
Oh. You were blindly
welcome.
swinging around that, that Griffin wrench.
Yeah.
Yep.
The wrench kept
I
coming
did
back.
like hanging out with you all.
Good. I'm glad. Yeah. I don't know when when the next Extra Life events are. But if Thread Raiders asks me to host again, I'll contact around. At the very least, there's still the Discord channel open up.
And every year we're gonna be doing this every year. So
yep. All right. And I guess for the last minute, everyone's favorite awful part of the prequels.
Oh.
Not the sequels, the prequels.
The prequels. The sequels are good movies. The prequels are.
Wait, do
fun.
we get to discuss that statement before we? Do we have another?
Are we going in order, or are we just jumping in here?
Let's just jump in. Let's off the cuff because it is 7:30 and we'll cut out in the middle of it anyway.
Lisa, love the dark person.
Yes,
I wanted Darth Jar Jar. I wanted Darth Jar Jar.
Darth Jar Jar would have been so.
Yeah.
You can kind of see Darth Jar Jar if you watch the Clone Wars.
Yep.
He's kind of Darth Jar Jar there, but so much potential that was just lost. I think my favorite bad part was when Palpatine just freaked out and then did a spinning dive at like 3 Jedi Masters who just were so impressed that they died.
Yeah.
That's how melodrama works, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of I can see that. I can see some crazy old man spinning at you. You're like, what?
Yeah. What?
I can see that.
Yeah.
But we're finishing up here, so everyone can still hang out. We're gonna be doing some more things, and bye everybody.
Bye. I had a good time.